Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Saturday's stream. I'll introduce everybody first. So we are joined by Brett from Wolf Paranormal. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Saturday's stream.
Now it's me.
I'll introduce everybody first.
There you go. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'd pop the chat out. That was my fault.
That's all good. So we got the lovely Brett here from Wolf Paranormal, and we have Sam from Life After Life. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
And Zippy. Can't forget Zippy.
Oh, Zippy's here, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so tonight I've got the stream named Haunted Objects, and, kind of what defines a haunted object. Is it really haunted? So we'll talk about that, but we can kind of wander off into other topics as well, because this can either go one of two ways, depending on how people feel about the subject. So as you guys know, probably the only haunted object that I have would be Clara, and we will talk about that. I will share my feelings on Clara, and Brett and Sam will share their feelings as well. I'm not sure if Brett has any haunted objects. I'm sure that Sam does, so we'll get her view on her objects. If you have any questions, put them in the chat and we will answer them. Hello, everybody. Hi, Jackie, Mark and Annette. Hello. How are you all? Deb, Brett, Sam, everyone. All right. So I don't even know how to start this off. First of all, haunted object, what defines it? I've always kind of been along the lines since doing these streams and looking further into Clara since I've had her, and watching a lot of other videos, that perhaps if an object is haunted, it is probably more a case of it contains an energy trace of something. As we've spoken about before, I don't kind of firmly believe that things can really be attached to an object.
Mm-hmm. You need to knock your camera up a fraction. You're chopping the top of your head off.
Is that better?
A little bit higher. You're a little bit low with your camera angle.
Yeah,
that's better. Yeah, that's better. Sorry, he was just getting to my OCD. You were chopping the top of your head off.
That's okay. You can still see her. Hi, Fairy.
Hi, Fairy.
Brett, I know that you have a lot of interesting thoughts around the haunted objects. Do you want to share some of those thoughts with us?
Oh God! Basically, I don't believe in them. Mm-hmm. I believe that things they can be like a beacon. I think there can be spirits that actually have some kind of an emotional attachment to something, but I don't believe that a spirit haunts a doll as such. In the sense of Chucky or Annabelle or that kind of thing. I don't think they're living inside the doll. I believe that, if it was something that belonged to them as a child or something, then that they could still be aware of where it is, and they could come to the area. But I don't believe they are in any way physically attached or spiritually attached as such to the object. I just think that it's something that was important to them in life, so they tend to hang in the vicinity of it more so than actually live in it.
Yeah, very good points. What about you, Sam? What do you feel about haunted objects? What's your opinion on them?
There's no sort of black and white answer. I mean, like, I have a house full of different memorabilia, different supposedly haunted objects and copies of haunted objects and stuff. One of the interesting things was that there was one day I used to buy stuff of an old guy in the market in town, and one day I went into his store and he says, "Oh, I got this doll for you. I got another porcelain doll. Would you be interested in it?" And I says, "Oh, that's a nice doll." And he says, "Do you know you're into the paranormal and stuff?" I says, "Is some of these dolls haunted?" And I says, "Highly unlikely." And he says, "How do you know if something is haunted?" I says, "Well, the theory around haunted, a lot of haunted stuff is shops like yours. You know, people go in, they pick up stuff and they build stuff." And he says, "Could you pick up this doll and can you tell me anything about it?" And I says, "Right, I'll try." You know, so I picked up the doll anyway. What you need to do is they need to start thinking out loud. And then I says, "Right, I'm getting this house and a tin roof and stuff, and it's in the middle of the country and very, very quiet, subtle people in the house. Very quiet people. It's a farm." And then I says, "Woodwork." And your man, his face dropped. And he says, "That's my house." He says, we have had that doll in the house 6 months, but we bought it somewhere else." I says, "Oh, I must have got my wires crossed." He says, "We do live in an Irish thatched cottage, but it's got a tin roof on it." And he says, "You see these pens and these wooden pens and these lovely wooden boxes and stuff like that." He says, that's my products. I actually make them." I says, "Oh, I thought you bought them." He said, "No, I make them in the workshop at home." So I was possibly picking up the energy of where the doll just came from.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very that's fascinating because you have to ask yourself: does that the energy where the object is that energy attached to that object, and you're picking up traces of that?
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult in science to sort of to come up with an answer to things like that.
Very much so.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
porcelain dolls get a big rap in the paranormal, but actually, I think one of my most what I would say attached objects is actually behind you, and it's that little brown teddy bear. Do you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just porcelain dolls, but they what I feel is happening there. It's more like a sort of a trigger object, an attraction object, rather than the energy being in the item itself. You know, and haunted is a bit of a strong word in those cases, I think.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I've said this a lot in the past on my channel. What you've got to remember with things like stone tape theory, and especially with kids' toys and things like that, when kids are upset, the very first thing they tend to do when they're young is hug their doll or hug their teddy bear or whatever, and that's at moments of when these kids are in an high emotional state. So is it some kind of stone tape theory that goes on occasionally where those emotions are actually absorbed into the doll or the teddy or wherever they're hugging at the time?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like the same thing with things like writing boxes. Way back in the day, writing boxes were a big thing in a household and that. And you've got all kinds of emotions there because that was your communication. You had birthday cards, Christmas cards, letters, love letters, letters announcing people's death, all kinds of things, and it all been around these writing boxes, and you can get a mixture of emotions. If you're sensitive, you can get a lot of mixture of emotions through an object like that,
Yeah, I see. I think these films like Chucky and Annabelle and that lot, they've given the wrong impression on what these haunted items actually are, because people now assume that something's like living in these dolls or attached to them in some way. And personally, I don't think it is. I think the intelligent ones are just something hanging around the object because it was dear to them in life, and the rest of them are residual energy from stone tape theory. I can't think of any convincing case where somebody has proven that something evil is actually living in a doll.
Yeah, I agree. And I always have the thought too that, you know, if demons were a real thing, let's just play with the idea for a minute that Desmond's real. And they say that Desmond is this all-powerful being and it can do anything and it can take your life and all of this. How is it that you're able to contain this all-powerful being in a little soft doll? It just does not make sense. You know what I mean?
But you've also got to ask the question, Julie, why would they want to do it in the first place? Why would anything want to spend an eternity inhabiting a piece of plastic or a piece of porcelain? You know, why would they want to do that?
Yeah, for a spirit that or an entity that attaches itself to a doll, you mean, that hasn't been, you know, made to possess the doll. Yeah.
I've got an interesting theory. I have an object here, right? This play had havoc in a shop about 2 years ago, and you can see the close up how freaky looking it is.
Yeah.
This, I was they begged me to take this from the shop, and they said that the atmosphere in the shop when this doll arrived was horrendous, with all the staff and everything. So I removed the doll, and a couple of weeks later came back to see how they were. They said the atmosphere had completely lifted. But what I done before I left was, I says, take a look at the doll and tell me what you feel. And they just said, scared, it terrifies me, and all the rest of it. So, without jumping the gun here, what if
that looks like it's about
all those staff members generated so much fear?
Yeah.
But what if all those staff members generated so much fear that they conjured something to happen in their subconscious?
Yes.
You know, or it's just fear, you know. But you know, if things happen, is it a combined consciousness that's doing that, or is it just fear and their imagination playing up with them, you know? So that's some of the things that we have to sort of take into account. How does it make the person feel? And you know, but there is some unexplained stuff. There is some unexplained stuff for, you know. But the thing is, sometimes, a lot of the time, you know, an object, people get rid of an object because of fear. You know.
Yeah.
I even had an object left at my doorstep, and I reckon it was just out of fear because it just looked weird.
Yeah.
Do you know?
See, what you've said just about the shop staff ties back partly to what we were talking about last night when we said, you know, could some communication on the spirit box actually be us projecting it in? Could it be that because the staff actually believed that this doll was evil and creepy, they were somehow creating a personality for this doll? You know, could they have been projecting something into it, so to speak? You know, and powering it up in some way.
Yeah. You know, to me, it's not, doesn't, I put it down to a fear factor, and I have it in that glass case as a reminder of that particular case, you know.
Well, we touched as well on a stream or two back about cemeteries. Actually, it may have been yours last night, Brett. Cemeteries, and how a lot of people that go to the cemeteries are there, they're grieving for their loved ones, and they're leaving kind of, I guess you can say, a trace of their grief there. So when you walk into
Residual energy.
Exactly. So when you
Yeah.
walk into a cemetery, sometimes a sensitive person can pick up on that.
Yep.
Maybe if people are told that a doll is haunted or evil, and they're scared of it, they're leaving a trace of that fear with the doll as well that other people are picking up on. So they're reading it wrong. They're picking up on that fear instead of, but they think it's a spirit or something attached. Yeah.
Yeah. See, Jack's put there, Black Rose calls them spirit dolls, and the spirit stays with the doll because it likes it. And it comes in and out and doesn't necessarily stay there the whole time. Healing sometimes till they wish to move on. See, I don't believe they have to even go in the doll. They just hang around the doll. You know, a spirit doesn't actually have to inhabit anything. It's if we believe what the the common belief is, a spirit is, it's an independent entity of some sort. It doesn't need to go into the doll. It can just hang around. It can interact with the doll and make the doll do things, but I don't think it actually has to physically go into the doll. Sort of thing.
You know, that teddy bear is a kind of a case in point. It came from a paranormal investigator. Now, I took this story with a pinch of salt. You know, I take a lot of things with a pinch of salt. But apparently, they done an investigation in this in an abandoned hospital, and they believed that things started happening in their house after they came back, and they put it down to this doll. And they done some ITC, and they came up with this. You know, Tim was this little boy called Tim was coming through, and I went, you know, and they says, ever since we can't use that particular teddy bear, but it's a static bear.
Yeah.
I didn't believe any of that crap. I just wanted the static bear. It cost it. They were selling it for £15. It says that we can't use it, and that I says, well, I'll use it, but you know, I'll discard the story. I have a static bear, but happy days. Next thing anyway, within a week, and this is before I had any of this other stuff, and I woke up early one morning and some kid running up and down my hallway, and it sounded like it was kicking a ball and laughing. And I sat up in the bed and I says, I must be still asleep. And then I kind of woke up and I says, I'm flipping not asleep. There's a kid in my hallway. Whoa. You know, this hour of the morning, this is about 5:30 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I put my hand on the bedroom door and I went, bang, opened it up like that and just pure silence. But this was a racket. This was like, sounded like a kid kicking a ball up and down the hallway and that. And, you know, I done some ITC around that. I didn't bring up Tim and that, you know, and some kid comes through and I says, what's your name? He says, Tim. Tim. I'm Tim. Hi, I'm Tim. And I says, hello, Tim. He says, where'd you come from? And I didn't get an answer to that. Next thing it comes up, my bear. And I says, is that your bear? And he said, yeah, my bear. And around that particular time, there was stuff being thrown at me and stuff like that. And I don't know if it was Tim, but sometimes, do you know the time of I was on camera and this ball of paper flies past me. When the camera went off, I says, you know, Tim, will you just cut that out? You know, that kind of thing. And stuff like that. But it went for, things started happening for a while, and then next thing, just nothing. Do you know? But is it really involved with the bear, or is something else at play?
It's all right. I was laughing at Joanne's comment, what she just put there. What do you think of Dybbuk boxes?
Ooh.
Because they are in their own right classed as an haunted object.
Yeah, that's where I kind of I was going to do this stream on Dybbuk boxes, and then I'm like, no, let's go haunted objects. So,
but a Dybbuk box technically is classed as an haunted object.
It is, so we can touch on them as well if you like.
Yeah.
Honestly, my own belief, I don't believe in them, but I haven't had any experience with the ones that they say are actually haunted, which I think there's only one technically that's supposed to be haunted in the world, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
A lot of rabbis weren't even aware of them, believe it or not. You know, all this thing about they have to be sealed with a prayer written by a rabbi and all that lot. If you talk to a lot of Orthodox Jewish rabbis, a lot of them aren't even aware of them. You know, and they're quite an old belief, and even the one that Zach Bagans has got, the story behind it's very dubious anyway. Very dubious. It was apparently encased in cement and dug back up. But if you look at that box, there isn't a mark on it. You know, it doesn't look like something that was encased in concrete for an amount of time. Personally, my view is we have absolutely no idea how or what spirits are and how they work. So how anybody can claim they can contain something they know nothing about in a box is just a little bit of a foreign concept to me. You know, to be able to contain something, you've got to be able to understand it. And we have no understanding whatsoever of what a spirit or a dybbuk or anything is. So for me personally, I just think they were a piece of religious paraphernalia that was used occasionally for the comfort of somebody.
There you go.
Than anything else.
It was used to keep. Originally, I think the boxes were like a keepsake of a person that had died, weren't they?
Yeah.
A lock of hair and things. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the dybbuk box themselves, they were just created as a comfort crutch, more so than anything else, to settle somebody's mind that, you know, this evil thing that was after him was now shut in a box and couldn't get out, sort of thing. A bit like the genie's lamp with the gin, you know, that kind of thing.
Well, I have an example here actually, and there's a funny story to this one. This is a box from Jerusalem that I bought at a car.
Sam's weed box.
Yes.
No, it literally is.
Oh, it is. Yeah, this is a funny story. The story behind this was the guy at the stall at the car boot sale bought this box at a house sale. You know, there was items in their yard, garage sales kind of thing. It doesn't often happen in this country. It's not a big thing. It's a US thing, but he bought it, and it was covered in wax. It was a Dybbuk box, but he bought it because it looked like a nice box under the wax. So he took it home. He cleaned off all the wax, and he says, "That's great. I can put my weed in here." And actually,
and that was what it was used for.
Yeah, and
so if there's any Dybbuk in there, it's too stoned out of its face to cause any trouble.
Yeah.
That'd be a good video, the stoned Dybbuk box.
Yeah, it's walnut and it came from Jerusalem. It's an absolutely beautiful box, but
it's gorgeous.
He said he wasn't possessed after he opened it up. Do you know?
Yeah.
There is funny examples online if you go searching and that. There was one where there was this box and it was wrapped in barbed wire. Do you know the spiky barbed wire?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, are they keeping the spirit of a cow in this box or something? Because they're just wrapped in this wire. Do you know? And some of these boxes, they're brand new when you get them. I don't buy them. I'm not that stupid, but I bought this as a beautiful box. That's what it was. But it just happened to be there was a little backstory to it. So you know,
that's right, Kanga. The original Dybbuk box was originally a wine cabinet.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one Zach has. It's got the little grapes carved in.
The basic story behind it was this guy bought it from a garage sale, which they have a lot in America apparently, and he took it home and things started to happen. So he decided he buried it in the backyard encased in concrete, and it was apparently there for a number of years, and then he dug it back up and gave it to Zach Bagans. Now, if you look at that cabinet, there is not a mark on that cabinet. You encase something in cement and you chip it back out, it's going to be battered. You know, the entire history of the box is a bit dodgy.
I think it was in a box similar to a Pelican case. It was in a plastic box before it went underground.
Yeah.
You know, so that possibly could explain why it's in perfect shape.
But there's never been any evidence provided to show where this box was encased in concrete, and there's no real evidence to show where the box originally came from. The only it's a bit like the Zozo story and Slender Man. The only real history you've got to go on is what this bloke who bought it from the garage sale claims. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, Kanga says, as if cement could hold a Desmond.
Exactly.
Sorry, Sam.
I mean, like things fell apart when they done the live stream thing, and they brought in the rabbi, and then the rabbi
he basically turned around and told them they were talking nonsense.
Well, no, he says, I know this isn't going along with your script. The next day, Zach Bagans brings on the rabbi to do a quick live stream to try and cover this up, and he says, "Well, I didn't mean your script as such, but that's the way, And I was saying, this is going very well. This is a complete car crash.
Yeah, well, there is actually another interview floating around on the internet somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it of that rabbi where he basically talks about the Jewish faith and and rabbis and stuff, and how these debug boxes were pretty much unknown in modern day Judaism. He was basically saying it's all pantomime. Is what he was saying.
Yep.
Same here, Kanga.
How can you, scientifically prove that you can put a spirit in a box and seal it with wax, and that keeps the spirit in?
You can't. See, this is the problem when religion starts to overlap into the paranormal. This is where the problems start to occur, because I'm a firm believer religion and the paranormal should be kept firmly apart with a 10-foot wall between them.
Yeah.
And when you like anything, when they say never discuss politics or religion, I'm the same, but never discuss paranormal and the religion sort of thing, because you then start to get religious bias in the story, and then all sorts of weird and wonderful claims start coming out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that everything that the church has taught you about the paranormal world, you need to really leave that out the door and bring in your own beliefs and look into it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody else tell you what's real.
Yeah.
Find it for yourself, definitely.
Mm-hmm. It works for cheese.
With the cabinet.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. The one thing that kind of steers me to say that, haunted objects possibly is a thing, is John Zappas. He does. I think maybe now his stuff has moved into a public museum, but back in the day, they were in an outbuilding at the back of his house. It wasn't a public museum. It was a private collection, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of rule out the financial gain on that in that kind of way if you have this collection privately at the back of your house, kind of thing.
Mark said this was all from a garage sale. So originally, Mark, Zach's box was found at a garage sale by another gentleman who took it home and had things happen. So he buried the box encased in cement, and he eventually sold the box to Zach Bagans. But yes, it was found in a garage sale.
It was a garage sale.
Yeah.
There's no real history behind it before then. They believe that it was owned by a Polish immigrant who fled.
Mm-hmm.
during World War II, but that's never been proven. But that's what they believe it is. They believe it belonged to a Polish immigrant who fled to the States to escape the war, World War II. But none of that has ever actually been proven. Literally, and even the things that supposedly happened with the box, there is only this bloke say so on it. And if you think about the amount of people who've sold these phony Dybbuk boxes on eBay, because at one point you could go on and there was hundreds of them. Same with haunted dolls. That you could go onto eBay, type in haunted dolls, and you'd be greeted by a list of hundreds of these dolls with all their hair tugged out apart from a few tufts, an emo makeup job, and 666 written on the brow, and that was an haunted doll.
Gosh.
And Dybbuk boxes went down exactly the same way on eBay. So
see, there was an opportunity to make money, because a lot of the charity shops here, they just sell off a doll for a pound or
50p,
a dollar and that, because it just nobody wants that kind of stuff in generally people living in area in houses now where there's less things, the modern, and they just get rid of this stuff, and you pick them up for a dollar, do them up and put them on eBay for 40, 50, 60 pounds.
Sam, if I wanted to make stupid money and con gullible people, I could go into town now, do a tour of the charity shops, because there's quite a few in town, collect up all the dolls, bring them back here, give them a makeover job, put them on eBay, and I could probably have £500 by the end of the week.
Yeah, and some
but I wouldn't do it, because it's it's exploiting people.
What is definitely.
Yeah. See you, Boomer. Thank you for coming in.
Bye,
See you, Boomer. Yeah, voodoo dolls. They're another thing, Joanne. They're actually connected to a religion. They're a religious object that has got totally the wrong impression, again because of the media. Voodoo dolls are not necessarily used to stick pins in and torture people. They are more likely to be used as an aid in healing than causing destruction. You've really got to educate yourself on this stuff a little bit further than just watching a few horror movies and thinking this is what this is, because you can guarantee Hollywood will skew it to the negative.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, voodoo is one of those things where I won't touch it, and the reason is not because of what I've heard about it, but because I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, voodoo is not an evil religion, but that's what Hollywood would have you believe.
No, but I wouldn't want to get involved into something that I didn't know about. It's the same as pagan. I wouldn't walk in and try and do a pagan ritual on my own when I know absolutely nothing about it. I would like to understand it and educate myself before I walked into it. So, yeah.
I have a Franklin Mint, and it's right beside me in a case. And do you know when you go and you view haunted dolls and they cost $60, $70 or whatever? When you see something like that and it costs half nothing, I mean, I got paid £25 for this, and as a doll, it's worth between 75 and 100.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the lady about the doll after I had bought it, and she says, I says, why so cheap? And we got into conversation. She says, I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to, but do not send that doll back to me. And I says, listen, is there something going on here? Is something paranormal? Because I am actually a paranormal investigator. She says, yeah, strange things started happening in the house since we bought it and stuff like that. And feelings of being sick and things like that. And she says, but please don't send it back. I'm not going to accept a return on this item. I just want rid of it. I says, don't worry about it. I says to Rachel, I have an object coming to your house. It wasn't sent to mine, it was sent to Rachel's. Now, I was aware of the history. Rachel was aware of the history because I told her, but there was another lady in the house, which we just said nothing to because we didn't want to have the imagination run away with her. Within a half an hour of the doll arriving in the box, and she didn't even know that there was a doll in the box, she got a chronic headache and had to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And then about an hour later, I got a chronic headache and had to go home.
Yeah.
So I left the doll in the car, and I says, I need it, is it the doll? I don't know. Next day, I brought the doll upstairs. Next thing, chronic headache again.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I just don't know. I just leave it in the case there, and I just leave it sitting there.
The thing is there, is it actually the doll, or is it you psychologically thinking that doll's out again? I'm going to get a migraine, and you get one sort of thing. This is where the paranormal gets very tricky.
Yeah,
it's where psychology starts to blend in.
Yeah, the thing is, there's the famous UK haunted doll, but the thing is, John Zappa's has a doll as well. So the information needs to be shared in order to get to the bottom of it, whether any of it is true. But I'll give you a quick brief look at it. It's a terrifying looking the eyes. The eyes look dead on the doll. Basically, it just.
Oh, I hate that doll. I really don't like that one.
Yeah, there's something quite odd about it, but that's a physical image we get off the doll. But
she should go on the bonfire next to Clara.
Yeah, there is the famous UK doll, but there is a number of them around the world. But the information needs to be shared to get to the bottom of exactly what's going on. But this is a mass-produced doll. It's not a rare doll in any way. It is actually mass-produced.
Actually, Sam, I think my mother's got one of them.
Yeah. And Franklin Mint done the Diana dolls and a few other dolls like that, and are quite good. But this is it 80s or early 90s? It is an older doll.
Well, my mum had them in the 80s, so she'd probably be around the 80s when my mother started collecting them. But she's definitely got that one.
Yeah.
She's definitely got, and there's another one that's very similar looking to her, but I ain't got a clue what they're called. I used to avoid them like the plague when I went in my mother's.
So that is the Franklin Mint copy of the UK haunted doll. But there is a number of them around the world, and John Zappas has one of them in his museum.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know the story behind the John Zappa's doll. So, that information hasn't been shared and put together in any way, so I don't know.
Mark says if I die, I'm going to attach to a G.I. Joe or Big Jim doll.
So Mark was actually the one who said just a few moments ago, how would you know if a doll is haunted?
You wouldn't?
No.
There you go.
You wouldn't. And what you've got to bear in mind is just because it was being haunted for some, or somebody believed that it was the doll that was causing the problems, you could buy that doll, move it to your house, and nothing happens, because it could then turn out that the doll wasn't actually the focus point. It was either a person or the house or something else.
Yeah.
You've got to be very wary of what people attribute paranormal phenomena to. They could convince that, I could actually go and buy a doll now, keep it in my house for a few months, convince myself that doll's doing all sorts of stuff, and then I could sell it on as an haunted doll, and I could guarantee whoever bought it would claim they were getting the same sort of things that I claimed was happening, even though they weren't. You've got to be very careful of sorting through it. Personally, I don't think you can just go out and buy an haunted doll.
No.
Mm.
You know,
I-
it'll just be one of them things that happens or doesn't.
Yeah, I would be very wary too. If you're buying a doll online or something and this person says, "Oh, I've got to get rid of it. It's terrifying me," but they have a really big price tag on it and there's a story that comes with it, be very wary of it.
Yeah.
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 You know, because personally, if somebody's terrified by something, they'd give it away for free rather than trying to charge you through the nose. They just want to be rid of it. And with the doll, I can't see why they don't just chuck it on a fire and burn it. You know, rather than pass that hassle on to somebody else. If they truly believe that doll is the source of their problems.
Yeah, that particular doll, she give it away. She basically give it away at that price, you know.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But you know, people think that, you know, oh, a haunted doll is going to move its hands. It's moved, not necessarily, no. And you know, we're going back now to a number of theories like stone tape and that residual energy attachment that you would possibly have in just everyday objects, everyday items in your house, where energy is imprinted. Similar to my spirit box that keeps coming up with age, is there an energy imprinted on the box when it's made or whatever?
Yeah.
It's a whole rabbit hole of all different kinds of scenarios.
We have absolutely no idea how any of this lot works. We've just got theories on how it could work.
Yeah, it's our opinions.
You know, and this is why I say, you know, I can't understand how anybody could claim they're containing a spirit in a Dybbuk box when they have absolutely no idea what they're dealing with.
Oh God, yes.
You can't contain something you don't understand.
I think I've been very lazy when it comes to Clara, because I could have done a lot more to kind of try to document more of what I believed with her. Having said that, not once have I ever, in any of my homes since I've had her, seen an entity that I believed is her for what I think she looks like. I've never had her move around the house. I've never had her, you know, do anything crazy or that. And I think if you come across a doll and you feel like it's unusual, buy it. Sit at home, do your spirit box tests with it, and do other different tests and that, and try and prove that, you know, haunted dolls do or don't exist. But be very careful claiming it's a haunted doll if you don't have the proof to back it up, kind of thing as well. I mean, I've learnt from my experiences, so
Kanga wants Zippy burned. Says he's the most evil thing she's ever said.
Poor Zippy.
Poor Zippy.
Yeah. Yeah, I have replicas like a lot. You have, Julie, you have a replica of the original Annabelle at the same size and everything. And I have the Robert and that. The problem I have around, especially Robert is in the, I can't remember the name of the museum, but that the Robert that I have is a souvenir little doll, you know. And the thing about Robert is there's letters being sent to this museum on a daily basis, and they're stuck up on the wall, right? And, you know, I'm sorry, Robert, for disrespecting you and stuff like that. What that is doing is creating mass hysteria. And like we said before, how many people have a car accident driving home from Walmart or Tesco's?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You know, people go to the museum. There's this haunted doll. It's got this history of extremely bad things, and they have a car accident or the trip on the stairs on the way home, or the slip in the bathroom getting out of the shower, and then they associate that with the doll, and they say, I remember I walked past the doll and I never said hello, and I was on my phone, and this kind of thing. And they put two and two together. Next thing, to break the curse, I'm going to have to write a letter to apologise to Robert. Next thing, they're stuck up on the wall, and people are reading them.
The same thing happened. The same thing happened with the Warrens and the Annabelle doll.
Yeah,
that they quote one single accident where somebody died after leaving the museum on the motorbike. They had an accident and got killed because he'd said something negative about Annabelle. How many thousands of people have visited that doll and how many thousands of other people have turned around and gone, yeah, I don't believe it, and have walked away from that place perfectly fine.
And
The law of
nothing's
averages states at some point somebody is going to be on the road traveling from the museum and have an accident.
happened.
You know, if it was Annabelle, you'd be hearing about somebody got murdered every week for going to visit her and saying she weren't genuine. It wouldn't be one off in thousands and thousands of people. That is just your typical statistics.
It reminds me of BuzzFeed going into the Warrens Museum, and I don't know the names of the tallest guy started cracking jokes about Annabella in front of her, and that the other guy was going, "So you stop it," and that.
Yeah.
And they're in the bus on the way home. We possibly could have an accident right on the way home and shit like that. But you know, this glass case thing, you know, this doll is so evil it has to be locked up in a glass case. That's just a fabrication. I know the wood is steeped in holy water and all this kind of stuff, but the Warrens are bring religion into it and stuff. You know, their nephew, which is John Zappa, says glass cases are to keep the dust off the objects. That's it.
Yeah.
Do you know that is it?
Yeah,
you know,
basically.
You know, they're not gonna hold in a spirit. Now, I did see mirrors on top of some of the in John Zappa's museum. There's little square mirrors on some of these cases, and that I'm going, you know, about mirrors trapping spirits and that. It's just a theory. There's no scientific way of figuring that one out. You know, so I don't know. A lot of it's going on theories and things. You know.
Yeah.
I've never watched The Sound of Music, Candace, so I wouldn't know. I've never watched it.
Once a while ago, but yeah. Because she's got her arms out, she's dancing on the hilltop. The hills are alive.
See, this is another thing you've got to bear in mind with famous haunted dolls and stuff. Legend has a way of building itself, and every time somebody retells the story, it's built upon and built upon and built upon. You know, so a lot of these famous dolls that are supposedly haunted may never have had anything really drastic happen to them, but by the time it's done the rounds of all the paranormal community and other people, it's gone from its arm dropped down one day because it was loose to this doll regularly tries to grab and scratch people. That is another thing you've got to be very, very wary of, is that, you know, fame has a way of building on itself.
Oh, yeah.
It certainly does.
Here's a one that sort of conflicts the whole thing. You get all these stories about haunted Ouija boards. I haven't seen a case of a haunted spirit box yet. I yet to see one.
Yeah.
You know?
Now surely something like you'd expect something to do that, considering the nature of what they're used for.
You know, or a haunted pendulum, or a haunted dowsing rods, or a haunted REM pod, or any of that stuff. Yet the Ouija board gets a rap. You know, that's sort of, you know, that sort of sets out red flags for me.
Yeah.
You know, in relation to all that.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly, Joanne. It is like Chinese whispers. You know, legend builds upon itself.
Yeah, I've seen so many people. I mean, if people sit and pay enough attention to what they're watching, whether it be on TV or YouTube or some other kind of, you know, form of TV or social media, if you pay enough attention to videos and what they're saying and what they're doing and the surroundings, you will find the truth for yourself. Because when you know what you're looking for, it's not hard to sit down and point certain things out, especially for people who create entertainment. if you know what you're looking for, you can pick it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm. You know, but the overall question you got to ask yourself with haunted objects is what would be the motivation of anybody to attach themselves for all eternity to anything?
I
You know,
certainly wouldn't want to do that.
well, if we believe that spirit can be anywhere at any time, why would they want to encase themselves in a doll? They'd no
Yeah.
need to. They have absolutely no need to.
Yeah. When they have the freedom to move around anywhere, why would they want
Yeah,
to stay put in one space forever?
yeah,
Doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
Yeah, the thing that muddies the waters is circumstance. You buy an object, then stuff happens in your house, but can you definitively link the object to the activity? That's
yeah.
the thing. That's the
See,
thing.
that's another thing. This is where the psychology comes in. As soon as somebody believes something, if anything else happens, they associate it to that belief. So if they could have been sitting, say they're sitting talking to the doll on the lap one day, and a picture happens to fall off the wall, which, let's be honest, can happen over time if an work's loose or whatever. It does happen. And
Yep.
straight away, because they'd got the doll with them at the time, or were talking to the doll, they associate it was a response off the doll. Then the next time something gets knocked over or the wind blows a vase over something, it's obviously the doll doing it. And this is how these things build up, and this is the psychology of it. People start to associate things with other negative experiences rather than thinking, well, perhaps it was just the wind. Straight away they jump to the conclusion, oh, it's me bloody haunted doll doing it again. That is the kind of
Yep.
thing you've got to be very, very careful of, where the
Yeah,
psychology crosses into the paranormal.
and when you look at psychology, I remember 2 years ago, and I think the gas company have dealt with it in the meantime. A gas engineer came in. He comes into the hallway. There's Annabella in a chair staring at him, and he's terrified. He says, "What the hell is this?" He says, "This is like Zach Bacon's museum." I says, "This is flipping terrifying." And he comes in and he sees these dolls and these cases, and he's there and he's going, "Fuck," and he's there and he's fixing he's doing the service on the boiler, and he is as much as ran out. He says,
Yeah,
"The next time you need a service, please get somebody else." So it needed services last year, and the company sent a guy over. Turns out it's a guy who goes to some ritual place every year, himself and his wife, to get ayahuasca, and he knew all about the haunted,
yeah,
the paranormal and energy and stuff like that. We had a conversation for about 2 hours.
yeah,
And I just wish I had recorded it, because it was really, really interesting. But I think the company sent him because he was okay with it.
Yeah.
But the other guy, he was almost crying, being
hmm
in the house, just looking at dolls in flipping cases and that, and
yeah,
that's just fear, you know,
Yeah.
hmm
you know. And that's the thing. You come in here, you see these dolls staring out through glass cases and that. To me, most of it is just a fear aspect of it
Mm.
that people
yeah,
play on, and
yeah,
they assume that it's haunted, and it's
hmm
haunted in a negative way. Why
Yeah.
there's a lot of emphasis on negativity.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. See,
In the paranormal in general.
I always say to people, if you're doing an investigation and something happens, no matter how spooky it appears, you've got to come from the angle of what could have naturally caused this long before you even start getting into the paranormal explanations. Because the trend nowadays is people go on paranormal investigations and they associate everything as paranormal. They've got no intention of even going through the normal explanations. Everything that happens has got to have a paranormal explanation, and that's where a lot of people are going wrong nowadays. They are too keen, whether it's just for the drama of the excitement of it, but you've got to be prepared if you're doing paranormal investigation to go, oh guys, that thing that just happened, the door blowing open, or something, it's actually a draft, and you've got to be honest about it, you know, and not straight away presume some, you know, Bob the ghost is pushing the door open.
Yeah.
I actually saw, this is probably about 12 months after I started on YouTube, I came across somebody's channel I was subscribed to, and they were walking through a forest that's rumoured to be haunted, and they made a few very good points. They said, now I'm walking through here and I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that, but it doesn't mean it's paranormal. It's probably a rabbit running through the wood. But you're paying more attention to it because right now you're scared. You're here at night time. The lighting's not that good, and your mind plays tricks on you, and you have to take logic first.
I did it on my Wombwell Woods video, and I think it's actually in the video where we're in the woods, and Jay starts hearing twigs snapping, and he's convinced something's creeping up on us. And I basically turned around to him and said, Jace, we're in the middle of a bloody wood, in the middle of and I actually say it on the video. We're in the middle of the woods in the dark. There's badgers, foxes, squirrels, weasels, you name it, wandering around out there. Yeah, it's liable. It's going to be one of them long before it's, you know, Jason the serial killer.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
The thing about abandoned houses as well, you know, if you walk into an abandoned house and there's wooden floorboards and that, there's a possibility nobody has walked in them floors for a long, long time. And you get, you know, a hole in the roof, you get water, you get expansion, you get contraction. So you could walk on that floor and then walk off it and go into another room, and about 20 minutes or half an hour later, you can hear the boards creak as it just settles back into place again. And I found that pretty common. But you do see people on YouTube going, I just heard a noise in that room, kind of thing. You have to look at the physics of things as well, you know?
Yeah.
You know? I always say to people, if you're going to start going out in the dark doing investigations, the first thing you need to do is familiarize yourself with the sounds of nocturnal wildlife around you. Because believe me, anybody, if somebody's on an investigation and they have never heard a barn owl before, and a barn owl does its screech, because barn owls don't hoot, they scream. And it is the most blood-curdling sound if you don't know what it is. You know, and I've lost count of the number of videos I've seen of people in woods or in old abandoned houses in the middle of nowhere, and they're claiming, oh, there's this horrible haunted scream, and I'm sitting there thinking it's a barn owl.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have one as a pet. It's a barn owl.
It's like a koala. A lot of people think that koalas are these cuddly little furry animals, but if you actually hear a koala, they have a really deep guttural grunt.
Yeah.
Do you know, when it comes to places like abandoned houses, forests, and outdoor places, especially, it's one of the most uncontrolled environments. You know, when you talk about experiments and ITC, you're talking about recordings and stuff like that. Very often, sometimes you're talking about controlled environments, soundproofing, blah blah blah. You've got none of that when you're out and about. You've got very, very uncontrolled, you know, environment, and you know there's a lot of factors to take into account, especially when it comes to, you know, wildlife. And
well, Kim's just mentioned your cow thing. Could you imagine if that thing had have started to bellow without sticking its head round the door?
Or
that would have been terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would, you know, all you did is this big loud bellowing noise. You wouldn't straight away think there's a cow in here because you're in the middle of a bungalow. You know, you've got to be very, you know, you've got to be very aware of your surroundings. And the other thing you've got to be prepared to do, which a lot of people won't, is actually go and look to see what the thing, you know, if you know where the sound's coming from, you've got to go and look. It's no good running off screaming, claiming there's creepy growls and noises going on. You've got to go and look and see if there's a natural explanation to them.
Yeah, if that was nighttime, I would have needed clean pants for sure.
Yeah. Because cows, when their eyes reflect the light in the dark, they're creepy.
Oh, they
I've seen cows at night when I've shone a torch on them, and their eyes are as are deer. Deer are the same. They have got the most eerie glow to their eyes.
And they sleep
Exactly,
standing up.
fairy. Possums and birds in the walls can cause scratching.
That's where the term cow tipping came along, because the cows sleep standing up, and bloody teenagers go out in the paddock at night time and push them over, and that's cow tipping.
Oh, right.
That's actually a thing.
Oh, right.
You never heard of cow tipping, Sam?
No.
Oh,
no, never.
Oh, that's interesting. Now you know what it is.
Mark says every horror movie they look and what happens, I'm going the other way. Yeah, but the thing is, if you do that, you can never say with any certainty that what you thought you heard was what you heard. You know, you've got to bite the bullet and go and look. You really have. It's no good running screaming, because it defeats the purpose of what you're there for in the first place.
Or in my case, looking in the window, looking at a cow running around a bedroom. It's a cow!
Oh, that's still good.
Yeah, you know, but there's so many things you have to consider when you're out and about. Wildlife, the surroundings you're in. It sounds stupid, but if you're in a wood, you can stand in a wood any night quietly, and I'll guarantee you will hear branches and stuff breaking, because it's natural. It's a natural way the trees shed and and carry on. You're going to hear snapping branches and all sorts of things, and you've got to be prepared and understand that these things are not always paranormal. In fact, 99.9% of the time, they ain't paranormal.
I tell you, when I was in my early 20s, I lived on a property outside of town, and I was one house in the middle of nowhere, and the house around one side had pine trees, and we have the pine cones over here, and every time it rained at night, the pine cones would, I think they'd open back up after the rain. Yeah,
they close during the rain.
Yeah, and when they open back up, they have this cracking kind of sound, and it's scary if you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just pine cones. Gay, I was watching an exploration channel the other day. No paranormal. They found a goat shut inside, and it was making a racket trying to get out. A goat.
It's amazing what you'll find in empty buildings, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. Do you know, I was watching somebody recently who was talking about paranormal investigating and that, and it made me think, are we actually doing the flipping right thing? Because he was on an investigation, and some guy had a K2 and it was lighting up, and go, whoa, look at that, and then he just takes up his frequency radar. He says, no, that's a radio frequency. Look, there it is there.
Yeah.
Why are we not using this kind of equipment? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I had been looking into that I had been looking into a frequency meter for months and months. But they're expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the same with K2s going off in the middle, and like when people go into rural areas and they go, or woods or something. Oh, look, the K2's going off. You don't know what underground cables are running there. Because, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but over here in the UK, there are as many, if not more, underground electrical cables than there are overground. So even if you're in the middle of a wood, there could quite easily be cables fed under that wood to the nearest town and stuff. You've got, you've really got to do your own work before you go anywhere and start taking any kind of equipment as gospel with the readings.
But the thing is, you could be in the middle of the desert and turn on an ordinary radio and still pick up radio signals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why are people not using frequency meters, frequency analyzers?
Yeah.
It would debunk, or it would explain some of these signals if they're false positives.
Yeah. I've got to go and walk the dog. You won't give me peace. If you're still on when I get back, I'll see you soon. If not, take care. You have a good day, Joanne. We'll probably still be here when you get back.
See you, Joanne. Oh, yeah, definitely an interesting topic. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody got any?
If anybody listens to me, a lot of people turn around to me and go, "Well, you don't believe in the paranormal," and I'm like, "I do. I'm a very big believer in the paranormal. It's just that I come from the angle of everything's got a normal explanation first."
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people find weird nowadays because of these TV programs like Ghost Adventures and Most Haunted and stuff. People have been, they've been trained into thinking that everything is automatically paranormal when it ain't. You've got to be prepared to debunk yourself or debunk, any other evidence you're seeing long before you say, yeah, that's paranormal.
Yep.
There is the other, there is the other side of the coin where there is investigators out there. I've worked with some of them, and they have a Facebook page, but they talk on the Facebook page to say, "Oh, we had a great investigation on Saturday night," but you won't see any other evidence because they just keep it to themselves.
Yeah,
it's not about instant gratification for some of these people. It is for a lot of people, and that's where a conflict of interest comes into it. Are you trying to build a YouTube channel, or are you trying to get evidence and research the paranormal in a true sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the money and monetization sometimes muddies the waters there.
Yeah.
And then we all get tired of the same brush.
There's no doubt there is some good evidence out there on YouTube, but you do have to learn to train yourself to see through the bullshit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because there's stuff out there that thousands of people are going, oh yeah, that's absolutely brilliant, and just by looking at it you can see where there's either been editing done or other things, and you think, you really are being fooled here, people. It's called the paranormal for a reason, because it don't happen often. It's not normal. The second you're getting paranormal every few minutes, it's no longer paranormal, it's normal.
Yeah. I think that today, in this day and age, most cars now have a camera on them. Most streets have CCTV. Most houses now have security, So you've got more and more cameras and more opportunities to capture stuff, in a true sense. And if it comes from a person that has got no paranormal background and they capture something, that can be even extra interesting, But the problem is when it comes to analyzing these events, who is analyzing them? But when we're talking now about expertise, where there's no expertise in the paranormal field as a whole, but there is expertise in videography, photography, audio engineering, all that kind of thing. And it's these people that we need more,
Yeah, definitely. Aw. Poor possums. Hi, Jeff.
Hi on the road.
Anyone else have any questions, or is there any topics you want to talk about or anything like that?
We could talk about Fairy's possum being drowned in the river, wrapped in a blanket and chucked in. Wrapped in a blanket so it couldn't paddle.
Oh. Make him a little raft from sticks. I can paddle down the river. Poor little possum.
Do possums like water?
Hey, on the road.
Not that I know of. I don't think they go swimming or anything.
So why would you take him to the river? Why not just dump him in a field somewhere?
Because there's big trees by the river where she is, I think.
Oh, do they climb trees?
Yeah, they live in trees.
Oh, so they're like squirrels then?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have chucked him in the river.
but they're a lot bigger. Denny wants to come up if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, who's Denny?
Denny.
Oh,
Chasing
Danny.
Bones Inspectors, yeah.
Yeah, fine.
I believe he's from the UK as well.
Oh,
Come up, Denny. He'll give us some more topics to talk about.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Is he coming up?
Yeah, I think he's going to come.
because these possums, did they damage electric wires and stuff like that in your house, like rats and mice do?
I don't know if they damage wires. I haven't had a lot of experience with them in the roof, but they will build nests and have babies, and then at night time they run across your roof really loud. It's like a person's running across your roof.
Oh
Especially-
no, I'd have a ferret up there to get rid of them.
Oh, you got to have people come in and actually catch them and stuff.
Mind you,
Terrible.
believe it or not, squirrels can do that. Squirrels can sound really loud. Hi, Danny.
Hi, Denny.
Hello, Danny.
Everybody, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hang on a second.
That's Coco trying to eat the mail when the mailman comes.
No, that's a good idea. You know, eat the mailman. Then you'll have something to investigate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right there at the house, you know.
Yep.
How
are
is
you?
I'm doing okay. I'm
Yeah.
doing really good.
Good.
I've been listening, sitting back, listening to a lot of the talk here. A lot of it, you know, you guys got lots of really good points, you know.
Yep.
There is one thing, however, to keep in mind, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else, it's all a lot of stuff is about faith. You have to believe in your evidence, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like everybody says, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. And bullshit. What you got to do is, in my opinion, only, okay?
Yeah.
When you're doing investigations or you're doing anything with the paranormal, it's not your job to prove it or disprove it to anybody else, okay? Doesn't mean squat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is to prove it to yourself, okay?
Yep.
If you believe it to be 100% accurate or whatever, then you put it up with pride and you say, this is my evidence, this is what I got, right?
Yeah.
If you're on the fence about it, or if you're not sure about it, then why bother even put it up? You know, if something's 80%, you can say, look, this is what I think it is. You know, this is my opinion of what it might be or what it might not be.
Yep.
What do you guys think? You know, that's a good way of actually presenting your stuff. If you don't believe it yourself, don't be an asshole. Okay? Don't put it up there. Simple as.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
You know? And the other thing too is, you were talking about haunted dolls and this and that. Listen, I've been in this game a long time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A haunted doll is not people sometimes get it confused. A haunted doll is not a possessed item. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's an item that a spirit decided to attach its ass to. Okay.
Yeah.
So now spirit's attached to this doll doesn't mean it's in the doll. It doesn't mean it has to stay with the doll. It means when it wants to, it's got a tether to that area so it can go cause shit over there if it wants to. Or shit over there if it wants to, right?
Yep.
A haunted doll is not haunted per se by a spirit. A haunted doll is haunted because a spirit has attached a line to it like a spider web. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
When
that's
the
what I
fly
believe.
lands-
I just believe they know where it is.
When a fly lands on a spider web, the spider reacts. Okay? Someone reacts to the doll, the spirit's going to react because it's a spider web. It's basically, it's all part of the spirit's domain, right? Doesn't mean it's the only part of them. It just means that's part of it where it will come and go from, you know? Now, you asked about why doesn't it spirit box get attached to? Well, the simple reason is with the spirit box, it's all about sound. Okay, it's pretty hard to attach a attach yourself to sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Now-
the box itself is a physical item.
Yeah, the box itself is a physical item. So what? You're going to attach yourself to a box that may or may not ever get turned on? No. Spirit, it's a waste of time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, an item that is used. Now, here's a difference between. Here's a major difference between, and this is just my opinion. You don't have to worry about it.
No, that's fine.
Okay?
Yep.
The major difference between a spirit board, and I'm not going to say, brand name or anything, don't give a crap about whatever brand, but any spirit board, even a homemade spirit board, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And something like a EVP recorder or PSP 7 box or anything like that. It's a physical contact that you have to make, and you're in contact with what's going on, okay? With a spirit box or a recorder machine, you're not in contact with what's going on. You can be in contact with the machine, but you're not involved with what's actually happening, right? Physically, you're not touching what's happening. You're speaking, yes, and speaking back and forth, yes. But that's that's energy of voice. It's not energy of solid connection, okay? Now, do I think that the Ouija board is a bad thing and that it's all they all get bullshit? Okay, no, I don't.
Yeah, we don't either.
It's just a communication device, and if you open it properly and close it properly, you'll never have trouble with it. Okay.
Yep.
Do they sometimes cause terrible crap to happen? Yes. I mean, I've dealt with it for years, and it's part of my job, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not like it's not like what you think it like people imagine it to be, right?
Yeah.
Like it's bad enough. You can invite a demon or something into your home through the board. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's a doorway, obviously, right? One can get attached to the board, but what you got to understand is once a spirit has attached to that board, they're just with the board. But they also attach to that one person that brought them there in the first place. So you could have a haunted board, right, in your house. It'll never do jack shit. It won't do nothing, okay, ever. But you bring that person that brought that spirit there in the first place, now that's the key to the board, right? So now, guess what, Jack? You got to have some serious troubles because yes, it's attached to the board, but it's only attached to the board because it attached itself through that person, right? So there's a lot.
I don't personally think it attaches to the board. I think it stalks the person more so than the board.
Well,
because I used to do a lot of like homemade boards and get the same type of the same so-called claimed entity coming through the various boards.
Well, yeah.
So for me, it's more. It's like the person is more of the focus than the board itself.
Yeah, well, it's like a spirit guide. You can have your own spirit follow you, and every time you use a board, they're going to show up. Okay,
yeah,
that's common. That's very, very common because you have spirit guides, and you have other spirits that will follow you around through life, whether you want them to or not. Okay. And anytime you use any device to communicate or do anything with the other side, that spirit is going to show up, definitely, because it doesn't want to not have its claws onto you, right? So it's always going to show up no matter where you go. However, the flip side of that is if the board belongs to this person, it's like a symbiotic relationship. So you've got the spirit, you got the board, you got the person. That's what connects. So basically, the board is the connecting piece to the person.
Yeah. It's the same with the spirit box.
It's the same with the spirit box. It's a connecting piece, okay? But the spirit box, like I say, I take the batteries out, I put it over on the counter. Okay, is that gonna do anything for me? No, it's not. Spirit board, I've seen in lots of different cases that I've worked when I've got called from the diocese and stuff. I go into a house, the spirit board is sitting on a counter by itself, no one around it. Planchette starts moving by itself and goes whipping across the room, stuff like, you know what? Guess what? Disprove that, buddy. You know what I mean? That's a possession on the board. That's an attachment to the board. So,
but why could that not be poltergeist? Why could that not be poltergeist activity? You know, there are hundreds of examples out there where spirits have actually moved things. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a connection to the board.
Of course, it could be a poltergeist activity. Of course, it could. I mean, it could be a man had balls to be my uncle too. But there's a thing called obviously. Okay, now you can go. In my opinion, there is a point in time where you got to ask yourself. You know, you look at your evidence. And you say to yourself, okay, yeah, to me, this is a paranormal evidence. This has happened. This is what I see, everything else. You can make yourself believe or disbelieve anything you want.
Yeah.
Okay. But you got to watch that fine line that you're walking on, in my opinion. Because if I go through all my evidence, and if I could say to myself, yeah, I honestly believe that's a paranormal, then I'm gonna jump on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I say, "Well, it could have been the wind," 20% could have been the wind, so I'll try to make it happen again. I'll leave the same exact conditions and sit there and wait for 3 hours. It never happens again.
Yeah.
So now can I say it was 100% the wind? Obviously not, right? So the point of the thing is, when you're trying to debunk your own stuff. I hate that word, but when you're trying to debunk your own stuff, don't debunk to the point where you're making yourself a non-believer of what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because you can do that. It's happened. Happens all the time. So worried. And here's the one point I'm trying to get across. Don't be so scared of what other people think that you make yourself disbelieve something just because you don't want to admit its possibility because you don't want people to think you're an idiot.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
If you're debunking so much and working, if your focus is totally on debunking everything, and if your focus is totally on discrediting your own evidence, then how in the blue hell are you going to get any evidence? Because you know what? There's an old saying, for those that believe, no proof is necessary. But for those who don't believe, there's no proof that's possible.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, but that's
why if you work yourself into that, you're going to close so many of your own doors and your own abilities and your own feelings. You know, when you start shutting off your own belief system and the way you feel about stuff, then get out of the game. Why are you even in the game?
But that's why I always say you have to get rid of all the natural explanations first.
Right.
Before you even start considering anything paranormal.
I agree 100%.
I'll never go down the line of totally disbelieving in anything. Like I say, I'm not a big fan of apps. But I always say there is still that chance that something coming through is paranormal related because you're still manipulating sound with the apps. But
here's
you've got to train yourself not to jump straight to paranormal explanations. Because 99% of the time, there isn't one. There isn't.
Well,
there's a normal explanation.
Here's the thing for me, for myself, okay, this is just for my own self. If I'm going to a location and I'm working on trying to get spiritual communication, and spiritual interaction, stuff like that. If I'm going to this location and in my head I'm saying it's all probably bullshit anyway, do you think the spirits are going to even bother with me? No.
Yeah.
Okay. I go to that location thinking that I am going to find evidence. I'm going to get good evidence. If I don't, oh well. But I'm going there in the purpose to make friends, to talk to the spirit world, to do whatever I got to do, right? And I'll feed them first and I'll talk. I'll do whatever I do because it's just who I am. And I'm going there for that purpose. Now, if I'm there and I'm happen to be doing something and something happens and I'm not sure what it is, I'm going to investigate it right there and then on the spot. Try to see if I believe it's paranormal, if I don't believe it's paranormal. When I get home, I'm going to go through all my evidence with a skeptic view as well as a believing view. You got to keep it right down the path, because if you don't, what's gonna happen? You're just gonna toss everything out. You know, sometimes every now and then I'll get some evidence where I'm not sure. I'm 50-50 about it, but it's interesting. So I'm going to put it on my thing, and I'm going to say, look, I'm 50-50 on the fence with this, guys. Yeah. I don't know what I believe with this piece of evidence. Right? Yeah. I think it might be this, but then again, it could be that. Right? What do you guys think? You know, and I'll leave it for them to decide, because if I'm going to go, you know, like, let's say I don't know nothing about paranormal. Okay. So I come to the paranormal channel and I see people who are supposed to believe in the paranormal doing nothing but saying, well, this is bullshit, that's bullshit, this is bullshit, that's bullshit, then I guess paranormal is bullshit. You got to also be respectable for the people that do believe, but you also have to respect people that don't believe, right? You can't just cater to one side or the other because someone's feelings might get hurt or someone might piss on your corn.
Totally agree. Totally agree with that.
Someone might piss on your corn. Too bad. You know, guess you want to screw you. It's my channel. This is what I believe. You don't get pissed off. Right?
Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree with that.
And a lot of times I see a lot of really good investigators, okay, some real damn good investigators, but they debunk their own shit to the point where there's nothing left to believe in. Right? Don't forget.
But there again, coming from the other side of that argument, Danny, if there is a valid argument to debunk something, you should debunk it.
Yes.
You know, you shouldn't just say, well, it could be paranormal. If you can positively prove that, you know.
Obviously, okay? Yeah. Obviously, if you know it's BS, you know, if you yourself can look at it and go, nah, this is crap, then it's crap, okay? What I'm talking about is the stuff you believe in. You know, the evidence that you believe in, you've got to put as much energy into proving that, into showing that, as to put into the debunking everything, okay? Now, I've been watching, and it's all because of the shows that you mentioned, right? Where every paranormal investigator now, you feel like you're underneath a microscope. People are looking at you, so you've got to sit there and debunk your own shit because you're afraid of what the backlash is going to be. Okay, that's the wrong reason for doing it. Yeah, the right reason.
Yeah, that's the point. You shouldn't be wanting to debunk stuff, but you've got to be prepared to debunk stuff, and that is what a lot of people can't do in their own. Can't do.
You have to keep in mind, and this is my opinion. You have to keep in mind, yes, you need to debunk the shit that you don't believe in. If you're looking at your evidence and you say it's crap, it's crap. That's it. It don't matter what someone else says. It's crap. Yeah. Because you don't believe it, right? But if you believe in it, you've got to promote it the same way.
Oh, God, yeah. Without a doubt.
Right? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. You have to promote what you do believe in as much or more than the stuff that you toss in the garbage. Okay, because everybody's tossing everything in the garbage. Because everybody's so afraid that someone might say, "Oh, that's all phony." You know what? Take a long hard suck on my ass. You don't believe it? Don't.
To be honest with you, I don't know what it's like in. I don't know what it's like in Canada, but over here we've got the opposite problem. People don't want to debunk things; they want to prove everything is paranormal. Yeah. We've got the opposite problem over here in the UK. No, you know that down to the point that no matter what happens, it's paranormal.
Yeah, well, that's not what it's about, though, right? What it's about is what you believe.
Yeah,
is paranormal. That's what you promote. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if you got one or two things that, you know, and you say, "Oh, well, this is crap," you know, you can even put on your show and say, "Well, look, at first I thought this was this, and then I realized it's crap. Yeah. This is what it is." Yeah. You know, if you want to do that, that's a hell of a lot better than sitting there saying, "Oh, wow, you know, you got to check the window, you got to check this, you got to check that." No, show what happened, right? Explain, you know, because if you're going through all this trouble debunking the shit for yourself, and then you want to tell people to debunk shit, then why not teach them? Why not, when you got a thing that you thought was paranormal yourself, but you realized what it was, put it on your cinema. Say, at the end of your cinema, say, here's a couple extras at the end of the cinema. Okay, I thought this door slamming was a spirit at first. But after I calmed down and I investigated, here's what happened. And show the people, this is what it is. Then you can say to them, this is how you prove or disprove your evidence, right? Instead of saying all this bullshit, oh, well, you got to make sure it's not this, make sure, whatever, where, what are you talking about? What is it that I'm supposed to be watching for, But if you save those clips that you yourself have to tear apart and put them at the end of your cinema to say, these are things I thought were paranormal, but I found out they weren't, and here's why. That's going to educate people to start thinking about each place, Instead of you saying, here's my opinion, blah, blah, blah. No, here's my evidence. Here's what I thought. Here's what I found out. Makes a big statement, a bigger statement.
When I go to places and I'm creating a video and I'm filming, if I come across something and I'm like, oh, and something happens, and then I'm like, oh, well, it was just because this happened and it was something normal, I will always put that in there and I will tell them this is what happened. That they know.
And that is what you should do.
That's why I love your channel, and that's why I promote it.
Thank you.
Okay, it's because of simple things like that. Keep in, I guess my words for the paranormal people, okay, is keep in mind, you're trying to prove the paranormal, yes. But the person that you need to prove it to first is yourself, above all.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Totally.
If you don't believe it, discard it right away because it's garbage.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, it's not worth being on film. Okay?
Yeah. Totally agree with that.
And the second thing about the paranormal is, don't forget, it's a faith. Okay, so you've got to treat it with the respect that you would any other religion, any other faith. I believe in Father Sky and Mother Earth. I treat them with respect, right? I believe in the paranormal. I treat it with respect. I'm not going to be blind to it. I'm not going to like you say, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh boy, the fly moved. It must have been paranormal. Bullshit, it was the wind. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you gotta be a realist with it, right? And you gotta respect your craft, And you say no professional in the field. Well, obviously not, because the only way you're going to be a professional is once you're dead, you'll know the truth yourself. But
exactly.
But the real reason that there's no real counsel, let's say, because I don't like the word professional, but let's say. The reason there's no real counsel on it is because paranormal is so on the fence. Half the world believes in it. The statistics are 50% of the people believe in the paranormal, 50% don't. Okay?
Yeah.
And until it gets 80% due, no one's going to put money into investing into something that most of the people don't believe in. It's all about the big bucks. That's why you got special filmmakers, big bucks. That's why you got special sound coordinate, big bucks. Where's the big bucks for the paranormal? There is none, because not enough people believe in it. You see? Yeah. Now, when I started 52 years ago, when I started working with the paranormal, okay, it was like you couldn't even say the word ghost without being locked up in the asylum.
Oh, God, yeah.
All right. I've been locked up in the asylum 3 times in my life. I've been beaten almost to death in my life because of what I believe in. Okay. So I will stand there toe to toe and die for what I believe in. Okay. But I will not put up false bullshit to discredit us. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to remember, and Wolf, I agree with you 100%. Everybody needs to remember, don't put crap on your channel you don't believe in.
Yeah.
Right? Take your time to debunk it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not putting real stuff up there, if you're not putting stuff that you believe on your channel, you're hurting every single one of us.
Yeah.
The paranormal is a family, okay? Whether and some of your relatives you like, some of them you like the kick of the ass.
You don't.
But I've always said company can please you in two ways: some by coming, some by going. But the point is, we're all family, so whatever we do, we reflect on the other person. Right? So whatever we put forward is going to reflect on our community. Okay. So Wolf, if you put up something that you strongly 100% believe in, right? You're putting up your evidence the way you believe in. I'm not going to go because I'm another paranormal group and come and try to debunk your shit. What kind of a moron does that? You're my family. You're paranormal. You believe in it.
Well,
right?
yeah, I agree with that up to a point, but I always say to people on my channel,
believe in it too. But here's the thing:
if you can give me, if you can see something that I've missed, please say so.
Yeah, no. Privately,
I always stress that with people.
I might message you privately.
Yeah.
Okay, and say, hey, you know what? This could also be this. I might message you privately about something.
I actually encourage people to do it. I encourage people to do it public.
No, it'll never be in public. You know why?
Yeah.
Because here's what happens. And you've seen it every day, guys. You see the drama in this paranormal field. It's because people start moving off other people's channels. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they intend to be dicks or not, they look like dicks for moving off other people's channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then people who aren't into paranormal, they come along and they go, look at these assholes can't even get along with each other. Why should we watch their crap? Right?
Yeah.
Well, because
if you see something,
I've always done it publicly because I like the transparency. You froze, Danny. Me and Sam often disagree on things publicly, but me and Sam have never fallen out.
But okay, here's what I'm saying. I'll go to you privately, okay? And I'll tell you this is what I think and whatever, have a look at it. And if you agree or disagree, it's fine by me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've done my part. I've come to you with good intention, not to be bad, but I've come with you good intention to say, hey, this could also be this, right?
Yeah.
What you do with that information is your business.
Yeah.
Right? If someone comes up to me privately and says, hey, this could be this, what I do is I said, oh, thank you. And I'll double check and I'll look over it. And if I think they might be right, on my next cinema, I'm going to say this evidence here that I caught was brought to my attention. It could also be this. I won't say who brought it to my attention or anything like that. Yeah. I will be very transparent that, you know what, I found this out.
Yeah.
And this is what it could be. And to me, if I'm a viewer, especially a skeptic, and I go to the channel and I see, okay, this was brought to my attention by another investigator. Thank you very much for this. This could also be this thing here. I appreciate the fact that you brought this to my attention. I want you people to see what this person's saying. That's called transparency, but it's also called respecting the rest of the family, right?
Yeah.
And eliminating a lot of bullshit.
See, but I'd prefer to do it. I always say to people, if you see something that I've missed, or you think somewhere else, put it on my comments, and I'll keep it public, because then, if somebody's watching that video, they can look through the comments and see the discussion we've had on it, and it keeps it on that. If I carried it over to the next video, somebody might not watch that video. So they never know that there's been any kind of discussion over the previous video. That's why I like to keep mine all public on the same video, so you can see both points of view.
No, that's awesome too.
But that's just a personal thing.
But that's awesome too. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, let's say Life Ever After Productions is live and says, have you seen Wolf's latest thing? Boy, what a bunch of horse shit. And Wolf's not even there to defend himself. This is where the problem is. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Right? This is what I'm talking about.
And I would never do that anyway. I don't do that.
This is, hey, Boomer, hey, brother.
Yeah, he's there watching.
But that's what I'm saying is, so basically be true to your own evidence. Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, promote what you believe.
Yeah. Yep. Most definitely.
Many people forget that. They're so busy trying to debunk this shit because they don't want to look like idiots in front of other people, and they're so afraid of everybody else's opinion. Okay. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So you can spend your time proving to everybody that you're debunking everything, or you can spend your time proving to everybody what you believe in to be true and putting it on your channel. And you can put your debunking stuff over here and make sure people see. Like if something happens while you're on location and you think it's this, and all of a sudden you realize it's not this, you damn well point that out on your cinema, so people see, so people can see that you're a serious investigator doing your best to get the truth, right? But at the same time, you've got to promote what you do believe in, and so many people are forgetting that these days because everybody's on this big bandwagon.
But you should do that naturally. You should learn to do that naturally anyway.
Yes.
That should become second nature to anybody who runs a paranormal channel.
Absolutely agree with you. But all I wanted, I just wanted to get out there because it's very important, in my opinion, is you've got to promote what you do believe and the evidence you did get. You got to promote that even more than what you're debunking. You do have to debunk 100%. If you think something's bullshit, I don't care what you do to disprove it to yourself. If you believe it's BS, then it's BS, right?
Yeah.
But please don't forget to also promote your wonderful captures and the amazing evidence that you get. Don't forget to promote that too.
Oh, gotcha.
Because a lot of people are forgetting to do that. And why are you here? You're not here to debunk spiritual. You're here to prove whether or not the spiritual realm exists. So if you're not promoting the good evidence you get, you're only doing 1/10 of your job, right? Because if your job is to find proof, then when you find proof, boy, you gotta put glitters on it and little sparkly flowers and whole 9 yards and show, this is proof, right? Yes, you must, but you must be honest. You must be straightforward. You must believe in your own evidence. And if you don't believe in your own evidence, don't forget the entire community is all one. So if you're putting bogus shit up there, trying to make a name for yourself, or if you're putting, you're adding on to an event to make the event bigger than what it was, if you're doing shit like that, you're hurting everybody. So knock it off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is the problem. Well, I don't know about what it's like in Canada, but over here, that is the big problem that we've got over here at the moment. There are a hell of a lot more people who are on YouTube for YouTube rather than the paranormal, and they will go to any lengths to get the views and the subs, if you know what I'm saying.
See what happens on YouTube, especially over here, is somebody gets caught out for faking. Next thing, all the YouTube channels start emphasizing on debunking to make themselves look good, and it's a show. Very often, it's just a show. Look, guys, we're debunking our shit. That kind of way. And it's just, it's not, it's just the same face a lot of the time.
Yeah, look at Boomer taking this.
You shouldn't.
I know.
You shouldn't go with the intention of of literally debunking everything anyway. But you should go with an healthy skepticism and say, this has just happened. I think it's this, but it could be that, and you've got to do that because if you sit there going, everything's paranormal, you might as well give it up. You might as well give it up there, and then because you're doing nobody any favors.
Exactly, Wolf, and it works both ways. If you're going to say everything's paranormal, you need to rethink. If you're going to try to debunk every damn piece of information, you need to rethink. Should you be doing this? You know what I mean?
Well, to be honest with you, if anybody's doing that on their channel anyway, they ain't going to be there long because nobody's going to watch them.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like you got to be true to yourself first. Okay, so never forget that.
Yeah.
And this is why I always say when people ask me questions, no matter what they ask me, I always say, this is just my opinion. Yeah. And I always stress that all the while, constantly. This is my opinion. And I've actually said to people, I could be telling you total bullshit, but it's my opinion. And I've always been upfront with people on that. All I can say to them is this is what I believe, and I believe it because of X, Y, and Z. But if you don't believe it, that's your choice.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing to consider too sometimes, I don't know, you might consider, you might not consider, I don't know. But I look at the evidence. At first, I try to prove that it is paranormal first. So I look at it like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this chain of events.
I'll go the opposite way.
First, I try to prove it, right?
Yeah.
See if I can convince myself or not. Then, once I'm in a positive frame of mind, thinking, okay, yeah, there's some evidence. Then I go, okay, so where's the bullshit part?
Yeah, I'll do it the opposite way. I always try and get rid of the rational explanations first, because they're more likely. Like I say, the paranormal is called the paranormal for a reason. It don't happen that often.
Well, yes, I agree with you 100% on that. But then again,
we're both doing the same thing. We're just coming at it from different directions.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, if you're already looking at it saying, well, it's probably not paranormal, you're basically saying, when you go on investigation, you're saying you're not going to get nothing paranormal. It's not going to be paranormal.
No, not by a long shot.
That's what it sounds like to me that you're saying. So could you? So
not by a long shot.
Okay,
but
so
I do firmly believe that you do need to get rid of the rational explanations first, because if you go from the point of view that you believe it could be paranormal, or you convince yourself it is and you need to prove it, then you may start subconsciously, without realizing it, skipping over other explanations, just to maintain that fact that it could be or is paranormal. But that is a personal thinking type of thing, and that's why I always go first. Oh, I've heard a branch now. It could be an animal. Now there's no animal there, and go from that way.
Well, that's why I'm asking you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to your investigations and you're going to disprove everything first, isn't that exactly what you're telling me not to do, but backwards? Right. So you're already that's basically what I'm saying, is you're in the mindset to disprove everything first. Then where's the openness to possibilities? Shouldn't it be?
Because once you've eliminated all the normals, once you've eliminated the fact that it couldn't be this or couldn't be that or couldn't be all that, the only thing you're left with is the paranormal. If there's no normal left, the only thing it can be is paranormal.
Let me tell you how I see it, right? When I'm in an investigation, say I'm in a building or something, and something happens, I'm shocked at first, and I'm like, I can't believe that happened. And then I go into looking around, is it this or that?
Yeah,
and
that's what I'll do.
Maybe
that's that's eliminating the normal before going straight to the paranormal.
Yeah, but there's still in the back of your mind, could that be paranormal?
Yeah,
you're trying to debunk it. Yeah,
you have. You've got to look at it. Say you go in and you hear like a creaking noise all the while. From that point, first thing I'd do is walk around the room, and check there's no creaky floorboards or anything like that. So that eliminates that. Right, you then stand there quiet for a few minutes, and you still hear it, but there's no wind. So you eliminate the wind. Eventually, you get to the point where all those normal explanations, which are more probable, because it's more probable to be normal than it is paranormal by the very nature of being paranormal. By the time you've narrowed all those down and they've gone, it can't be like loose floorboards. It ain't the wind. It ain't the building settling. Then you're only left with paranormal. Mm-hmm. Whereas if, for me personally, and this is psychology of how people's minds work. For me, if I started thinking straight away, that's paranormal, I'd then start discounting things. I'd subconsciously do it and think, well, bother checking the floorboards, just in case. Just in case, yeah. It's all down to the psychology of a person.
Exactly.
How analytical their mind is.
Exactly. And all I'm trying to say is, when something happens, okay?
Yeah.
To right away say what's wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
In my opinion, is you're already made it not possible.
No. You're misunderstanding how I work, Danny.
Let me finish.
Go on.
So what I'm saying, like what Julie just said. Okay, so something
Yeah.
happens, we go, crap, that could be paranormal.
Yeah.
That door's now open. Okay, it could be paranormal.
Yeah, that's the way I think. That's the way I think.
Now I go into my, is it paranormal? Right?
Yeah, and that's the way I work.
Okay, that's what I was asking you. Is that how you? Is that how?
Yeah.
That's how I was asking.
As soon as I hear something, it's like that could be paranormal. But now I've got to make certain it is by eliminating all the normal shit.
That's the way.
That's how I do it.
Yeah,
that's how I do it.
That's what I was asking you. Was
are
you going there thinking it's not going to be paranormal, or are you?
Oh no! I'll never go anywhere thinking it ain't going to be paranormal.
Okay.
I'll go from the point of that could be paranormal, but I've got to eliminate all the normal stuff to prove that it is. That's how I work.
Okay,
that's how I work.
See, that's what I wanted to find out, because by listening to today, okay, that's why I wanted to ask you that. Not to be a dick. I'm not trying to be a dick or an ass.
No. I love people who've got different opinions. To me, it makes for the best discussions.
The reason I asked you that was because from listening, from sitting here listening to the things you've been saying the last hour or two, it sounds like you don't believe in it at all. So I'm trying to figure out, well, why are you investigating? But now that you say no, I think it might be paranormal, then I do it. Like,
yeah.
That makes that's a total different ballgame, right?
Yeah.
Like,
See,
I was trying to figure out: are you a paranormal investigator trying to disprove everything, or are you a paranormal investigator trying to prove the paranormal?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was trying to figure out for the last hour.
Yeah, but I always like to put forward alternate explanations to make people think. Because I think there's too many in the paranormal at the moment who will immediately jump straight to a paranormal explanation without considering the normal. And that's why I always reinforce the normal stuff to drill into people, narrow that out, get rid of that so you can prove it is. And that's why I always come from the angle I do.
Okay, yeah. A couple other people came in them too. They said that's what they were thinking, that you don't believe and you're trying to disprove paranormal. By the way,
I'm a big believer in the paranormal. I wouldn't be doing a paranormal channel otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. So, but all I was saying was I wanted to find out for myself by asking you.
Yeah.
I don't like to guess and I don't like to assume.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to ask you. Do you believe in the paranormal at all?
Yeah.
Like, do you say, oh, that could be paranormal? However, let's check into it first, right?
Yeah. I've had a number of paranormal experiences, Danny, that leave me in no doubt that the paranormal exists.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I just by listening to tonight, okay, I was getting the impression that you're trying everything possible to disprove paranormal even exists.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah.
No. That's why if you'd have listened at the beginning when we were talking about haunted dolls, I said I don't believe that the object itself is haunted. It is basically something has got not a physical attachment. It's more that they are aware of where the object is.
And they can come and go.
They can come and go to it. I don't believe in haunted objects per se. I believe they are just a kind of beacon for whatever it is that's communicated, which is what I said at the beginning.
Yeah, in my opinion, only they're just an attachment, right?
Yeah,
but they're not stuck to it. It's an attachment, right? They're not using it. They're attached to it.
Yeah, which is what I said at the beginning. I don't believe they're physically connected to it.
And like, when people ask me about graveyards, investigating graveyards and cemetery and talk to cemetery, everybody says, well, you think the spirits are real? Are you on crack? No. Look, if I'm dead, I'm a spirit. I'm in Fuji checking out the bikinis, okay? I am not staying at the damn cemetery, right?
Yeah, which is exactly what I've said in the past.
Seriously, I am not going to be hanging out in no damn cemetery. I could be sitting there on the beach, right, with one of them coconut drinks.
Enjoying it.
Watching the girls play volleyball. I'm going to have a box of coconuts. And if some guy walks in front of my view, I'm going to grab a coconut and we'll get the hell out of the way. I'm trying to walk. Get out of there. So I'm not going to be at the cemetery.
No, fairy.
However, in my opinion, because the remnants of us is in the grave. It's a telephone booth. I go to there and I say to this person in this grave, hi, how are you? Would you like to talk to me? It's like dialing a telephone to wherever they are.
Yeah.
If they feel like talking to you, they're going to pick up the phone and talk to you. If they don't, they're going to say, it's another one of those people trying to sell me a vacuum cleaner and ignore it. Right? But to me, every single cemetery, every single crypt, every single grave is basically like a phone booth. The spirits are aware of that location because part of them is there.
Yeah.
So if you're there talking to them, they can hear you.
Yeah.
And whether or not they choose to respond is up to them. Right?
It was like I said on my stream last night. I really believe that there is no bounds to spirits on where they can be. That's why you can sit in your living room and have a good spirit box session, because you don't have to go to the place they died or anything, because they are perfectly capable of coming to you.
Yeah, they don't give a crap.
We were discussing this last night.
Yeah.
You know, there's no time and space is irrelevant to them.
Yeah,
I think.
Here's a few things that I know from my own experience. Now, it's not written down in any book. I don't imagine, but from my own experience. Okay. Spirits don't give a rat's ass about the time of day, okay?
No.
Yeah.
They'll be there in the daytime. They'll be there at nighttime.
Yeah.
They don't give two shits what time of the day it is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They're always there or they're always not there, okay? But I believe they're always there whenever they want to be there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you're using a spirit box and you're thinking, oh, the spirit's in... You know what? The spirit, it's a radio box. It's a communication line. It's running down the timelines and the ley lines. The spirit you're talking about could be in Africa. You don't know.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't mean the spirit's in your house. It means the spirit's listening to your frequency and trying to answer you.
That's right, Jim.
Right?
Yeah. I believe that they're not bound by time and space. They can be wherever they want to
be. None of that crap matters. They don't give a crap. Okay, it doesn't matter to them. So spirits, they go from here to there in the blink of an eye. Fantastic. They can do all kinds of fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're connected anywhere. Now, some spirits I have found through the years get stuck to a location, or they're location bound, but not necessarily by their choice. It's by the circumstances of what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you can help them to realize that circumstances are long gone, they don't need to be there anymore. They can leave. Simple as.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I've been trying to prove for years, and I believe it now. I mean, it's just my own belief. But the one thing that I've always believed, that whether you're human or whether you're spirit, if your mind is stuck on something or stuck in a location or stuck on a certain situation, that's where you're going to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've learned that if a spirit believes that they're stuck to this property, guess what? They're stuck to that damn property until they come to the realization they don't have to be there. They can leave if they want to. Right.
Yeah.
Or they don't have to have that death face. They don't have to look like a zombie. They can look anything they want.
I totally agree with you on that.
They're pure energy now. So you'll see a lot of, you'll catch captures and stuff like that where a spirit looks like it just died. It just was in a car accident. Looks the same as after the car accident.
Yeah.
If you go back to that place and just openly talk to the air and the spirits and say, listen, the person I saw on tape that looked like you were hit by a car, you don't have to look like that anymore, right? You can look any way you want.
Yeah.
You go back there and take enough pictures, you will see that same outfit. The face of that spirit will be clear.
Yeah.
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 Because no one told them that they don't have to look like that anymore. Right? And it just amazes me that the psychology of us, the spirit of us, the parts of us that make us who we are, travels to the next stage of life. And if we still believe the same thing, guess what? We're still doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I one of my most famous quotes is, when you pass over, you don't suddenly turn into Mother Teresa. If you were a nasty piece of work in this life, you're probably a nasty piece of work in the next
if
one.
you were an arsehole there, you're going to be an arsehole here, right?
Yeah, and I always say, I've always said that, always. But because a lot of people have got this belief that you pass over and you suddenly turn into some kind of angel, faultless angel, and that I just simply don't believe. I believe what you are in life is what you are in death.
Yep. And so anyway, I mean, there's a lot of different things like through the years and stuff, and through my work and everything else that I've learned that I believe that's really not for like just regular crap, but I've learned a lot of different things, and I've been doing this for so long, and everybody asks me, well, what do you think about heaven, or what do you think about this, or you know what, pal, that's above my pay grade. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just have what I believe to be possible, or what I believe to be true.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's what I always tell everybody, people that
I always say to people when they ask me on the subject of angels and demons, I'm not a Christian. I don't believe that thing. I believe you make your own heaven or hell when you pass over.
You know what? That's a possibility too.
But that's just like I always say to people, that is just my personal belief.
I think my personal belief is whatever you believe in, no matter what you believe in, that's the truth, because that's what you believe. That's simple, right?
Yeah.
If you believe in God, you got to believe in the devil. If you believe in angels, you got to believe in demons. If you believe in good spirits, you got to believe in bad spirits.
Yeah.
Because you know what? There's a head on a quarter and there's a tails on a quarter. There's daytime, there's nighttime, there's left, there's right? So for everything you believe, there's got to be an opposite to it.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's called balance of life, balance of nature, balance of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So, just keep in mind, I have such a great discussion I'd love to tell you about, but I guess I better not. But anyway.
No, go ahead.
It's all about if you have one option, you have another.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe there's a balance.
Oh, there's definitely
there's a balance. You can't have dark without light, and you can't have light without dark.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe them in the Christian context. But that, like I say, that's personal belief.
Yeah. Well, that's true, Evie. But a lot of people ask me if I have gifts and stuff like that, and I don't. I don't.
No, not me.
I don't. I'm just a caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm the gardener. I'm the caretaker.
Yeah. I always say to people, I'm a psychic.
The spirit world wants me to see something. They show me. They want me to hear something. They tell me. They want me to. I don't have any gifts at all.
Yeah.
But I'm just a caretaker, and like everybody says, "Oh, do you have these gifts or no?" No. If the spirit world wants me to know something at this point in time, at this certain day, and they want me to understand it this way, that's how they show it to me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I ain't doing jack shit. I can't.
Yeah. I'll totally agree with that.
So.
They show you a lot more than other people do, though. For me, for example, when I'm out and about, sometimes, a spirit might show itself to me. I see them from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get messages like a lot of other people do, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, what are you willing to accept them to give to you?
I'm open.
Yeah. Okay. So my advice on that, like if you wanted to see them more, if you wanted to hear them more, or you wanted to do that, every day just say, spirits, good spirits, if you need to contact me or show me something or tell me something, I'm willing to listen. And if you do that, they will take you up on it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it'll take a little while, but you have to do it every day, because if you don't, they forget real quick, right? Because there's no time and space for them.
Yeah. Right? See, but for me, the reason I don't get into it so much, on the ghost hunting side is because my interest in the paranormal is far greater than just the spiritual side, the spirit side of it. You know, I'm well into like the alien side of the paranormal and the cryptid side of the paranormal as well. I'm more of a generalist where the paranormal is concerned, rather than
that's
only based on the, you know, the ghost side of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like myself, my brother now, if you want to, one of my brothers, if you want to talk about reincarnation and that sort of thing, he's the one you would talk to.
Yeah, we were
UFOs and stuff like that.
We were discussing reincarnation last night.
Yeah, my brother for UFOs and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Sasquatch, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, my brother, me, no.
Yeah.
See, I've worked for the Druid Association, the Shaman Association, and I worked for the diocese for over 50 years, doing blessings of lands and exorcisms and all that kind of shit for 50 years. I ain't got time to look up to see the UFO. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I don't believe in them, because I do, but I cannot put any time or effort onto those sections.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to or anything like that. It's because I'm too damn busy with all this other stuff I have to do, right?
Yeah.
But my brothers are the same way. You know, some of them are, you know, look at, we got this is my thing, you know. So we kind of covered the field, but we each got a section that we work on.
If something is meant to happen, it will. If something isn't meant to work, it won't. There is perpetual balance, Sega. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, that's good. What's meant to be is meant to be. Simple as. Yeah.
There is a natural balance out there, and this is why I've always said I don't believe we will ever prove life after death one way or the other scientifically.
Nah.
Because if we did, it would be catastrophic for this planet. There would be mass suicide and everything.
If you ever notice, you don't get spirits talking about heaven or God or
yeah. And I've always said that's done for a reason. That there is some kind of, you know, there's some natural law in place there that stops it. There's a natural law in place.
Well, yeah, there's a gag order, because you know what? If we're given all the answers, then we have nothing to seek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if they prove to us, if tomorrow, if it was proven to you that there's a higher power and there's a place called heaven. Now, heaven could be whatever it is for you. Okay, it could be for me. It's going to be having my 4x4 so I can go mud running and have a lot of coffee shops. Okay, that's my.
That sounds like a good heaven, actually. I've got to be honest.
So whatever your heaven is, that's what your heaven's going to be.
Yeah.
Right? But if you knew 100% because you saw it or you're proving it or spirits came and told you about it, where's the faith then?
Well, it ain't just that. It's the implications of, you know, let's be honest, life for a lot of people is miserable.
Right.
If they suddenly knew there was a lot nicer place to go to, they wouldn't hang around here.
Right.
You know.
But then comes the catch-22, right? Well, there's a beautiful place when you die, but if you rush it, you're going the other way. You know, there's always a catch to it.
Then that comes down to the religious side of it, which I don't, subscribe into. That's got to come down to your religious.
Well, not subscribing to religion is a religion, because you will fight to the death for that, won't you?
Yeah. Well, no, because if
religion,
I've always said if somebody, you know, could prove to me that there was actually a God, and you know, I know faith is a belief thing. You know, I would be more than willing to believe in it. But for me, you know, I'm a pagan. I'm what I'll class myself as Wiccan.
I class myself as me.
Yeah. You know, but on you know, along the lines of religious beliefs, I would say I'm Wiccan.
I'm a Druid and a shaman, so yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah.
My beliefs are pagan more so than Christian.
Yeah, no, I couldn't live without coffee. That would be terrible.
No,
that would be a catastrophe right there.
Yeah, it would be.
Me with no coffee? Oh,
Yeah.
That
If all the coffee plants were destroyed, that would be a world disaster for me.
would be
That would be Armageddon.
sacrilege. Sacrilege. Let's speak
That's when-
sacrilege.
That's when the zombies are going to come. Oh,
Yeah.
no coffee.
That's what all the zombies do.
Yep.
Anyway, I figured out how we can avoid the zombie apocalypse. It's simple.
Yeah.
We'll not have to worry. All we gotta do is when people die, we'll tie their shoelaces together.
Yeah.
Problem solved, right? There you go.
I used to have a friend who was deeply Christian, and he was forever trying to convert me. And he used to say to me, "Well, what are you going to do on Judgment Day when we all are sent to heaven and you're still left here?" And my response was, "Hang on to your legs as you go up." You know, that is my attitude towards religion, unfortunately.
Later, Grammy, big odds. No, see, that's it. Let me tell you. Well, I was talking with, I'll tell you this little story. I was talking with a cardinal because he wanted to talk to me for whatever reason. But anyway, I was talking to this cardinal, and he started talking about spirits and ghosts and all these things and that things, and this ain't real and that's not real, you know, and everything else. And I says, hang on a second now. I says, you gave me all this great advice and everything. I says, can I ask you just a few questions about it? He said, sure. I says, okay, so your clan, diocese, your
Clan.
church, whatever. Your church, whatever. I said, do you believe in demons and stuff like that? Well, you see, I said, no, it's not a you see question. It's
either a yes or a no.
No. Do you believe in demons? What's your stance on that? Well, not exactly. I said, I said, so when is an exorcism needed, in your opinion? Well, we don't really. I said, I see. So you don't believe in demons, you don't believe in exorcism. And you don't believe in ghosts? No. Well, but we have the Holy Ghost and we have the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. What about the Holy Ghost?
But we don't believe in ghosts. No. I said, okay. I said, so when it said in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, by the way, when Jesus said, anybody can do anything that I can do in the Father's name, whatever I do, so can you. He goes, yes, that's okay. So when Jesus died, he didn't feel like going to heaven right away, see? He wanted to go around to all his buddies' houses first and show off his new tattoos and stuff, or cuts and tattoos and stuff. Hey, guys, look at this. It's me. Look, see, I'm going to heaven now. And he wanted to chum around for a little bit. So if we can do everything that God could do, that Jesus could do, in your opinion, then why can't we as humans then, if we want to hang around for a while and go and visit all our friends and do all this, if he could do it, he himself said we could do it, so why can't ghosts be real? Just ask him.
Yeah.
He doesn't say nothing. He looks like this. And I says, okay. And then you say there's no demons. No demons.
I know, Jack, I'm the same. I'm dying for a coffee now, and I don't want to leave the conversation.
And he says, well, I did. I says, wait. So I says, now you're saying from your own words, from your own belief, and I says, I'm not trying to twist your words. I'm just listening to what you said. Basically, the Bible, in your opinion, is half true and half not true. It's a little bit of fable to scare people into being good people. They put a bunch of stuff in there for fairy tales. And Jesus, according to you, Jesus did not tell a whole bunch of demons to get into these pigs and then send the pigs over the cliff. So you're saying that didn't happen? Well, wait a second. If there's no demons, then how did Jesus put the demons in the pigs? I'm just trying to figure it out. He told me to leave.
Yeah.
Told me that.
And this is why
the conversation is over. That's what I was told.
Yeah. This is why I am and this is again is just my personal opinion. Religion should be kept out of the paranormal because it adds a bias.
Well, it depends on your view of it, though.
Yeah, but like I say, that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna if you're going to turn around and think your religion is the only religion that should be in the paranormal, see ya. Every religion or no religion should be in the paranormal, right?
You know, because
my religion is not going to be the same as his religion or her religion, and their religion is not going to be the same as mine. In fact, you can go to a church, have 10 people on a pew, take each one aside and say, what does this religion mean to you? And you're going to get 10 totally different answers.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Because unfortunately, and fortunately, it's not a cookie cutter thing. People believe what they believe. Simple as.
Yeah.
Right?
It always befuddles me when people do prayers and stuff to protect themselves before they go on investigations and stuff. And my argument is, if you are praying to a god of a religion where his book blatantly states it's frowned upon to communicate with the dead, you know, so it's a bit of double standards there.
I understand that to your point of thinking, but you gotta give them the right to believe what they want to believe.
Oh yeah, you know, but I'll just say, you know, that's why for me I don't believe in, because people say, "Damn, you pray," and I say no. You know, why would I pray to somebody who forbids talking to the dead? It seems a little bit of a contradiction. You've either got to believe the religion and follow it, or not use the prayers.
But then again, for myself, I believe in my higher God, my higher power. He didn't write that book. Okay, I don't necessarily believe in the books, in any book. Any book I read off any shelf, I'm going to say 50% of it is factual. The other 50% is made up.
The Bible we got nowadays.
The thing to me is, you got to have your beliefs for yourself. You can't have beliefs of everyone else, right?
Yeah.
So whatever a person believes, and it's like you were saying about heaven, and like someone else was saying about whether there's this or that. It's what you believe, and you even say yourself, what you believe now is what you're going to see then, right?
Yeah, that's what I firmly believe.
Believes that prayer and God is going to help protect them. Yeah. What business is it of ours?
Well, yeah, but it's when they direct it at me personally and say you should be praying, and I'm like, no, no, it's not my belief.
No, that's when you say, if you feel like you should be doing that, fantastic. I good for you, but for me, I have other options, right?
Yeah.
Simple. Yeah. We don't judge, we don't judge nobody. Everybody's going to believe what they believe, and that's the way it should be. So fantastic,
Yeah, I think there's two sides, to the whole of the paranormal. There's the faith and there's the science,
Yeah, and you've got to find a balance between the two.
You nailed it. You're exactly right. There's a, like with everything else, it's all 50-50, right?
Yeah.
There's science, there's faith, there's religion, there's belief, there's disbelief, there's doubters, there's haters, there's lovers. Yeah. All of that is in it, as is in everything else, right?
Yeah.
But you have to, in my opinion, I don't give a crap what other people think about what I believe, okay? What I believed all my life. I ain't changing it. I'm going to continue to believe what I believe, right? And I am going to totally respect what you believe, because that's your life. That's your choices. What you've learned.
Yeah, I have always said regarding religion, people can believe what they want as long as they don't try and force it down my throat.
Exactly. Everyone is entitled to believe what they believe, and nobody should be condemned for what they believe.
Yeah.
However,
obviously there is within reason. As long as
you're not hurting other people with it, and as long as you're not forcing it on other people, right?
Yeah.
That's the key. Like, if you respect other people, you should be able to believe whatever you want to believe with no judgment from anybody. But if that's what you want, then you better damn well practice that, because you have no right to judge anybody else.
Yeah. But the amount of times I have had to delete Christian quotes off my videos and streams because them telling me I'm going to hell for what I'm doing, I'm just like, go away, not interested.
Yeah, I get that, and sometimes they'll say stuff like that. I've had people come into my lives and say stuff like that,
Yeah.
And I says, oh, I understand that, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
However, that is
Yeah.
your religion.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That is
Yeah.
your
Exactly.
There
Yeah.
are 5,346 different religions on this planet.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, believe it or not, that's how many religions there are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's one of many religions.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen to fit my bill. It's not part of my structure. Right?
Yeah.
Some of it
Yeah.
is, some of it isn't. You know.
Yeah.
But that's your belief, not my belief. So you can keep your belief. Hey, I know I'm right with who I got to be
Yeah.
right with, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. You're right within yourself.
Yeah, as long as you're right with yourself and you believe in, what you believe in, then, and the key is you have to stand by what you believe in, stand up for what you believe in, but not ever push what you believe in.
Yeah.
Right?
Lockbeard's put there, all religions are inaccurate interpretations of reality. Every last one. Illusions some people need to cling to because they can't explain the science behind things. Some don't need to do that. I don't necessarily think, that religions are illusions.
No. Religion, belief. Okay, you know what? How about this? Belief is a truth that you know that you don't need to prove.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For me, religion is a personal truth. And that's all you can live by. That's all you can live by.
There's nothing's going to persuade me not to believe in what I believe in.
Yeah.
And nothing's going to persuade me to believe in something I don't. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give a rat's ass if you pray to a head of cabbage every day. If that's your superpower, you go at her. You have at her. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't
Looks
care
like you need that garden, Sam.
I don't care if you pray to a pile of Benjamins on your in your safe. Whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever floats your boat. It's not my business. As long as you're happy and you got a good heart and you're doing the best you can to be a good person, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The rest of it's just icing on a cake. You're straight, you're gay, you're lesbian, you're Christian, you're Catholic. I guess that's the same thing. You're Buddhism, you believe in UFOs, you believe in, I don't know, oatmeal tastes good with brown sugar. I'm okay with all that, right? Doesn't bother me one bit,
Yep. Absolutely.
So, I mean, what the hell? That's the other thing. I see at work, I got in trouble at work because they had signs on the potty, right? Female, male, on this one potty, right? Female, male, and then there was one with a half dress and half pants on it, I guess for transgender or something.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I'm looking at this, so I open the door, go inside. There's one toilet, right? And a sink. Door locks. I close the door, I go back, I go over to the dollar store and I buy some black paint with a little tiny brush. And I drew a UFO and a unicorn. And the boss goes, what the hell are you doing? I says, well, the damn bathroom locks from the inside. There's only one toilet. Who gives a shit who goes in there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
I had a good time. A little UFO guy and a unicorn and a flying.
I actually went to a pub once in Worcester back when I was in the Midlands, and they had unisex toilets in the pub. There was no men's or women's. You all went into the same toilet. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all we want to do is pee.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. But you get to the point you're not drunk, you don't care who's in there anyway, as long as you get back to your drink.
I've seen many women do that with the women's toilets. Once they start drinking, they always have a really big long line, and half of them go into the men's to use the
men's.
Yeah.
It's just a toilet, people.
I'll be back in a second because I really need a coffee now. This is Sam's fault. Back in a second.
Okay. I think even for me, my religion beliefs, I think, have gone through many phases over the years, and I'm still not in a position where I have a firm kind of religious belief. I don't think I fit into any kind of category.
You shouldn't.
No,
No, you shouldn't.
no.
You know, what you believe in, just believe in. Whatever you will want to believe, that's up to you. I mean, that's your belief. You have the right to believe what you want. You know, what I used to do years and years and years ago, I used to take a piece of paper and I'd write down the 12 things I believe in, right?
Yep.
And I'd write those down. And then every once in a while, I'd go back and see if they've changed or if it's the same or whatever, you know. Do I believe in this? No, I don't believe in that no more. Scratch that off, put something else there, you know. And because religion, your belief, your religion should be a personal thing. It's only what you got to be able to say, yeah, I believe in that, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't believe in it, what the hell's the point of having it there?
Exactly.
Right? It's not going to do you any damn good one way or the other. Right?
Yep.
So you cannot turn around and say, oh, like I myself, I can't turn around and say I'm a Christian because I'm not just a Christian.
Yeah.
Right? Some of the Christianity belief system or whatever, some of it, yeah, I've adopted and had all my life. But you got to remember, I'm also a Celtic Druid. I'm also a Celtic shaman, right?
Yep.
So if you want to talk about a mixed bag religion, there you go.
Perfect.
Right? It's like making gumbo, man. Whatever's in the fridge, that's going in there.
Yeah.
I'm a gumbo religion. My religion is gumbo, you know.
Yeah, the thing is, people associate faith with religion, and it's two separate things. You know.
Yeah. You see, faith becomes religion. Religion never becomes faith.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So yeah, they're two different things. Faith is what you believe. The religion are the actions that you follow because of what you believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So one cannot exist without the other, and one is not the same as the other, you know. In my opinion.
That's good points. Yeah.
All the things said by Danny today has absolutely squat to do with the owner of the channel or any of the views we're in thereafter and all that other crap. And legal jumbo, and then put a couple of disclaimers, and we're good to go. Okay.
No, it's fine. This is what it's all about, though. It's all about getting together and mashing our ideas and talking paranormal and putting ideas out there and sharing our own beliefs.
Yeah.
It's all a part of it.
You know, the amount of times me and Sam have discussed things that we're on opposite poles of, but, you know, we never fall out over it and we respect each other's views on it. Yeah, I often make a joke about Sam and Little Green Men because she don't believe in them, sort of thing. Always do it. You know, it's an in joke with me and Sam.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, just because you've got different opinions doesn't mean you can't have a conversation with somebody on it.
Well, yeah, you know,
and you don't have to resort to arguing either.
That is the biggest lie. That is the biggest lie and the biggest falseness that the world has produced, that what we have in common makes us stronger. No,
it's what we have in difference.
It's our difference.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's what makes us stronger, because we all hang on to each other and we all learn from each other and we all expand. You know.
Yeah.
You know, like you might say something that I've never thought of before, and I say, well, yeah, let me think about that. Right. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. Our strength is in what's different, not what's the same.
Yeah.
That's what makes us strong. That's why the humans have survived this long. Because let's face it, one of us by ourselves, no chance.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Little Green Men. I think they're orange like that guy over there.
They just might be. You know, and if you're colorblind, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
Boomer says, Danny, what would be the best time of day to have you on his panel?
Hell if I know. I really don't know, because I'm always on call, and I a lot of times I got to run to do different work and stuff. Just like you do, message me on Facebook when put a link both on Twitter and Facebook for me, brother. And then if I happen to be near my computer and I see it, I will definitely jump on.
Mm-hmm. I've got to email Paul and arrange that
between 3 Eastern and 7 Eastern. Forget about it. I'm not on the computer. But any other time of the day, yeah, I'm probably somewhere around lurking.
We should be having an interesting stream coming up at some point, because I was talking to a guy who specialises in hypnotherapy last night, and he's offered to hypnotise me on a stream so that we can do past life regression to see what I come out with. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Okay, brother, and if you have here's another way, brother. If you've got a scheduled thing that you want me to show up for, just message me on Messenger and we'll talk on there, and I'll see if I can get there. That'd be the easiest way, because just randomly I check the computers, but if I know I got something I got to be doing, I work harder to get there. So if you have a certain time and date, put that in there. 10 and midnight.
It will be interesting, Joe, and a deep dive into my head.
Yeah, I'd invite you into my mind, but the place is.
I'm hoping he'll let me too.
I think he was willing to do, to hypnotise all three of us.
Yeah.
It may end up being demonetized.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to pass on it. I don't want to wake up clucking like a chicken somewhere.
Might have to stick it on over 18s, depending on what I say.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, that's for sure. I've been meaning to do it for years and years and never found anyone close enough. So, yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, it'll certainly be an interesting deep dive. And that thing where we were discussing, about unlocking, if you can unlock any kind of psychic talent while you're directly in touch with the subconscious. He says he's willing to give that a try as well.
Oh, he did, yeah.
So that's going to be another interesting thing I can talk to him about. If he does all three of you, the stream will last all week, probably.
Your Druid Garden, Denny, is that finished? I'm not sure exactly what it's called.
It's getting there. Druid Grove, yeah, it's getting there. It's pretty much there, but I mean, there's still a few little bits of this and that I want to do, but yeah, it's getting there. It's pretty well done. You've got it. You've got your own tree in there. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I put a tree in there for you.
My garden.
Gotta go over and see it.
My garden's fantastic. It's in my imagination.
Awesome. My garden's full of nettles at the moment because I can't use my strimmer because I tried to do it the other week and I thought I was going to have another heart attack, so I've got to get somebody to come and strim the garden down for me. Mine's
tiny. I hate my garden. It's always full of weeds and they never seem to go away. No matter how many I pull out.
Mine's full of nettles. I'm going to harvest them all for nettle tea, even though I can't drink it.
Yeah, weeds are like predators. Don't worry, they'll always be there.
Yeah, they are.
Can't get
I have a lot of roses.
That's it.
Yeah.
I quite like nettle tea, and I found out since I've had the heart attack, I can't have it.
I've never tried it.
Yeah, so it's off the menu now, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'd be willing to try anything that helps with back pain. I've heard that
cannabis.
Yeah, but besides that, I don't.
No, you can get it in the oil. You can get it in the oil version. You don't have to smoke it or anything illegal. You can get it in the oil version.
In Australia, it's really hard to get it.
Yeah,
just for a couple of drops in your tea.
A lot of people have tried it here. It doesn't do squat.
Yeah, I got a friend who used to have it for MS. It used to work wonders for her MS.
Yeah. For some, what it is, it's the mixture. Hey, you got to get the mixture right, and it.
Yeah.
$100 a little bottle.
Yeah.
And it takes 6 months to get the mixture. So you waste like $1,000 before you get the right mixture.
We're lucky over here. It's quite cheap over here.
Yeah, not here.
It's quite cheap over here, but it's
$1,000.
Any kind of muscle pain, it does work quite well for. But obviously, you don't have to smoke it and do the illegal stuff. You can literally get the oil And it's only a few drops in your tea or coffee.
Yeah, I've got a good prescription. It's called Crown Royal. When the pain gets too bad, a couple of shots of that, boy, I'm lit to go. No problem then.
Yeah, God, you're lucky.
I got wild glass over there.
We really don't want Julie drunk on a stream, believe me.
No. Well, the medication that they've had me on for a while, it was really strong, and I've been reducing it to the point where I'm almost off it completely now because it's not good to be on it long term. But I kind of need to look into natural healing to help with the pain because I've been getting a lot of pain coming back through now that I'm not on these other medications. So
that's cool, Kanga. But here, like everyone that I've known that's had the oil, didn't do squat for. But the doctors all say, well, we got to get the right mixture.
Yeah, it is
all that's wonderful. But while you're pissing around and taking a piss, trying to get the right mixture, you're charging us $1,000 every time.
Yeah, we're lucky over here.
8 times to get the right mixture. Come on.
Yeah.
I'd rather just, go over and take my wild growth and one shot of that, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, Jackie, I'm hoping to do the past life regression live on a stream. I'm just a bit wary about what I'm going to say. That's the only thing.
There's only one cause of pain: the physical body. Get rid of it. Yeah, you know what, Lock Pain? I'll tell you something else too. The number one cause of divorce in Canada is marriage.
Don't get married. Been there, done that.
Been there, done that. Got the divorce.
You know what? You know why divorce is so expensive? Because it's worth it.
I always said they should have parties. A lot of people nowadays actually do it. They have parties when they divorce.
Yeah, I went out with my friends and celebrated.
Oh, speaking paranormal, the ghost caught me screaming yesterday. I was sitting there watching a movie and I start screaming, no, don't go in the church, you moron. Oh my God, no. And the ghost said, what the hell are you watching? I said, oh, the wedding of my ex.
I like it. I do that with normal horror movies. You don't bloody follow the noise.
That's it.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, that's the thing about horror movies. I couldn't understand them. I was, you see these people running around inside a haunted house, and I was saying, why don't they just leave the house?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, one thing I learned from my buddy Jason, on Friday 13th, take your time, if you happen to be an axe-swinging, serial-killing misfit of proper construction, take your time and walk, because that guy or that woman, they're going to be running, and they're going to be tripping, right? So you just walk up, chop, don't rush, take your time.
And they always stop at some point to turn around and check where you are.
Let them run. They'll trip a couple of times. They'll get in the car, and then you smash the window, and surprise them. I mean, it just takes time. Don't run.
Yeah.
Or they hide behind a tree and.
That's it.
I love horror movies, but they've done the biggest disservice to the paranormal ever. In terms of forming people's opinions on things, they really have, without a doubt.
Yeah,
they have.
Then you have Zach. Then
you're welcome, Lockbeard. That was a public service announcement, just for you, Lockbeard.
I don't know whether I'd want acupuncture. I don't like being stabbed with needles.
I'd be willing to try it. I've never tried it.
No.
Yeah. My brother. I hate needles. He's got 40 freaking tattoos.
Yeah, right? I've got a load of tattoos.
But I hate needles.
But a tattoo don't actually feel like a needle. It's more like an hot wire being scraped on you than a being stabbed.
What the hell are you doing sitting there getting a tattoo for 4.5 hours and you're afraid of it? Seriously, dude?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Massage therapy is good, but it just never lasts long.
Yeah, so now he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zippy actually looks like he's about to lean over for a nibble on Sam's boob, to be honest with you.
Oh, God. Looking pretty happy about it. Oh, God. Oh, Zippy. Dirty.
Yep.
My mum's
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Welcome
I had to go and get a coffee after Sam went and got hers.
Oh,
Do
definitely.
you realise we've been going for nearly 3 hours? We're only 20
Oh.
minutes off 3 hours.
That's
Again,
good. That's good, though. That's a good stream.
we're spending too much time on YouTube.
I'm hearing squawking crows. Ooh, spooky.
They're sitting there. They're in my grove, just sitting there yapping away.
I was going to say my birds aren't crows. And they're quiet.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna butt out. Thanks for having me up. It was lots of fun. See you later, sweetie.
It was a pleasure.
Nice
Anytime.
You have a good day.
You too. Take care now. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Oh, do you guys want to finish up?
No, I'm all right for a bit longer.
We're all right.
I just noticed the time. I thought, Christ, we've been going for nearly 3 hours.
I'm going to get a drink then.
An hour and 40 minutes.
We're done good. I'll get a drink real quick and you guys can chat for a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be quiet, please.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay till 5 o'clock.
Coco, it's the postman. Shut up. In the kitchen. Go on. In the kitchen. Off you go. Off you go. We don't want to hear you complain. Sorry about this. Don't want to hear you complaining. Go on. Off you go in the kitchen. Don't peep at me round the sofa. God, she's enough. Come for a fuss now. Good girl. All because the postman walked past, that was. Sam, are you smoking?
Yeah.
Across, I thought Zippy was on fire. The smoke coming off Zippy.
Yeah. If it was on fire, we could blame it on the crying boy.
Yeah.
And the crying girl.
Desmonds have possessed Zippy and he started to smoke.
Yeah. Fucking Zippy stoned out of his head.
Zippy's having a joint.
Yeah.
You're going to be quiet now. Thank you. Have you got any spirit box sessions planned?
I never plan my spirit box sessions. I normally do them in the morning. Get up, like we went on stream this morning. Normally, I put on the copy, and then I turn the spirit boxes session on, or spirit box on for half an hour, review it, and then just put it up on YouTube. I don't highlight anything; just put it up on YouTube.
I'm going to find a Zippy doll and send it to Kanga. I'm going to post it to Australia. I'm going to get Kanga's address and send her a Zippy in the post and not tell her. So she'll open it and there'll be Zippy staring at her in the box. I might even stick a little knife in his hand and a pitchfork.
Yeah.
Sesame Street corner. I can't understand some people. They sit there and watch these creepy dolls and then they're freaked out by Zippy. How can anybody be freaked out by Zippy?
I don't know.
I'll need to start doing some more with my Robert Spirit box and recording them and seeing what I'm getting through. I'm already having nightmares.
Do you know it's no harm to do at least once a week, to get that connection going and stuff like that. Connection, I think.
The only problem I have where I live, Sam, we get really horrible interference. So as soon as you turn the radio on, you get this really horrible squelchy buzz coming through the entire band. It's really annoying.
Can you connect a wire from the antenna to the bottom of one of your radiators or something?
Actually, that might not be a bad idea. I'll try that.
Ground it and that.
Yeah, I'll try that.
It might help. Yeah, I mean, like with the grundig, there is an antenna wire and there's a grounding wire.
Hmm.
Rob, who builds the RTC boxes, he doesn't have any much reception in his place he works, and he's grounded. He's got two wires of ground, which is connected to your pipes in your house.
Yeah,
They're all connected to the electricity ground and stuff like that,
yeah.
and then a wire out the window to the outside, and you can get your reception in that way,
Hmm.
because it's good, not just FM. FM is nice and clean and stuff like that, but I do like shortwave and AM and stuff, and especially medium wave for some reason. I do like the medium wave.
Are you getting much coming through on medium wave?
Sometimes. Normally, yeah. Normally I use a Texan or a Roberts for the medium wave and that.
Hmm. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've got medium wave on that, Robert. So I've got in short wave, and then you can select the different the wavelength. I think it's 20, 40, and 60 meters. I think that you can select to scan on.
Yeah. With the Roberts or 9906, when I turn it on to medium, it sounds like a PSB7 without with the static not as pronounced.
Yeah.
It just behaves like that, and you get your little snippets and stuff like that. And then
Mhm.
when I go to the FM, it seems to be a slower scan.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
all behave in a different kind of way.
Hmm. I could do with getting a new spirit box. I might have a look on eBay later and see what's going.
There's a couple of Roberts radios still knocking about. I do recommend the Roberts 809. Is it or 809? There's one or two of them available on eBay for about $35.
And does that convert the same way the 9914 does?
I I find a little bit of a difference in this and the 9914 for some reason.
No, but I mean, to hack it, do you hack it exactly the same way as the 9914?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. No, I'm not 100% sure about that actually.
I'll have to have a look.
But the information is in there. All I have to do is open it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I already bought this. I already bought this one hacked already. So
Yeah.
and in order to hack the 9921, I just
Mhm.
opened another 9921 to
Yeah.
see what wire
Yeah.
to
See,
hack.
the only problem I've got with the 9914 is it's slightly bigger, and I want something just a little bit smaller if I take it out with me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
If Rob was doing any more RTC boxes, I might even I'd have considered getting one of them.
Yeah. They do you know the box with the EV portal that's on that's the same company. They've hacked one of these. Now I think the radio circuit in these are pretty good. They are £139 though. When the radio was only £13, but
yeah, it's a bit steep for what it is.
Yeah, they just put a sweep circuit in them, but the actual radio circuit is pretty clean, I think.
Yeah.
But they're only £13 on eBay. These,
Oh,
so
bloody, I'm gonna have to, first thing I got to get is some new headphones. My headphones have started packing up. I'm only hearing you in one ear at the moment.
They're getting worse.
The faulty wire.
Yeah.
Where you have to twist a wire to get the sound.
I have got another headset upstairs, but it ain't as comfortable as this one. After you've worn it for about an hour, it starts to make your ears hurt a bit. So I'm going to get me some decent headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was told Tascam. I don't know if the same applies to over in UK, but I heard there were about there was a bit of a sale on them they're about $39.
Oh, let's have a look.
You know, if you're doing streaming, and then also if you want to do spurt box and stuff like that, try and make sure that you get a set of headphones that doesn't have the noise cancelling, because
Yeah,
if you have noise cancelling, you're going to cancel noise. You're going to
yeah.
cancel low frequencies and stuff like that. So,
Seago wants to know how many spirit boxes you've got now, Sam.
Oh,
A lot.
About 25 or 30.
You've got more than that. You had 27 at the last count, and you've bought God knows how many since then.
Yeah, but I have a lot of radios as well. I have spurs of. I have nearly all at this stage. I nearly have all the selection of the Spurs of St. Louis,
All right.
which look old, but they're actually replicas,
Yeah,
and they kind of look like the cockpit of a plane. I love those radios.
yeah.
And not brilliant. They're not brilliant a manual scan, because they are. I call them a kind of dirty radios, because there's a little bit there's interference and stuff. But
She
I
has
loads.
lost count, Kim. She has lost count of how many she's got.
Yeah, and I must have about 15 or 20 different recorders and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, you get used to the odd few that and you very often you stick with your favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the boxes I have there, like the 12-469. I have that basically as it's a historical piece, because it actually was the first commercial hacked radio ever. Steve Holte.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was the guy with the white hair and Ghost Adventures. Bill Chappell.
Oh, yes.
Hacked the first commercial radio. Yeah, and that was the 469. The little, they call it in America the popcorn box, or the shack hack. It kind of, when you have it on AM, it kind of pops. The static sound is.
I remember that box. Yeah.
The little rhythm and that. That's the first. That's the first ever radio ever, commercial radio to be hacked, ever.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Bruce Holiday then hacked the 470, but it was basically the same circuit. The 470 is the 469 with a little speaker on the front. An inbuilt speaker and that.
Yep.
And then Steve Holte hacked the Holy Grail, the 12-4 or 569 or 587. The ones that you see a lot of UK investigators having, and that they call it the Holy Grail. Yeah, that he hacked.
I've got to be honest. That 587 never really appealed to me. It just stopped scanning too often for my liking.
I've had the best full responses, like full sentences come out of that. Like you're looking out the window. Just after I was looking out a window, I was called fat, CUNT. That's one annoying thing about it is I have two of them. The two of them act the same way. Every so often, it stops scanning.
Yeah, they stop. Have you got a Robertor 808, Sam?
808?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one of them on eBay at the moment.
Yeah, the Roberts, that's the 808 here. Oh, no, 80. No, it's not. I have an 808. No. I have the 809. It's slightly different.
Yeah, there's an 808 here.
And it should be similar to the 809 in looks and everything.
Yeah.
So if you say if you purchase anything like that, just get in touch with me. We'll open this box here and find out which. And most likely it's a strap. The white strap, and you cut the end wire and stuff.
Yeah, that was what I had to do for the 9914.
Yeah, and the 9921 was the same. But the 9906 was a completely different radio. It was all wires. It was a bunch of wires, and you cut the white wire. It was a completely different circuit to these. But these are pretty good. The 809. So the 809 should be similar.
Yeah, that one's an 808, I think. Or did I say 80? I think it said 808.
Mm.
Oh, there's an 809 here as well.
Yeah, I find them a brilliant radio, actually. A really good radio.
Did you show them your merch, Brett? I saw it.
Oh, the hoodie.
I
Oh
saw
yeah,
you open that.
my hoodie come.
Oh, I saw you open that.
It smells of vinegar.
That's all right.
That's the front of it. Hang on.
Ooh.
With the obviously it's got the hood there.
Yeah.
With the wolf on the thing, and then on the back.
Oh, very nice.
Wolf paranormal thing on the back.
Pretty cool.
Very nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it on in a bit. It stinks of vinegar though.
Yeah.
Do you know what would be cool if you had one of them wolf paranormal big blanket that you can put in your background and stuff?
Yeah.
Some people get those.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm planning on getting a green screen so I can put the icon on the green screen behind me.
All right.
So I can do it that way.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll try it on in a bit and see what it fits like. Because I like them big and baggy.
That sounds good. He can model for us. Put some music on phone.
Let me check it. Go on,
Cat says getting your first and last name, kind of freaky. Yeah, I mean, like if you get your first and last name, it's pretty good validation there, you know.
Yeah, and he got that on the Necrophonic app.
Yeah, I have seen people that trying out their Necrophonic app, but they were a bit skeptical about it, and actually did get some results and stuff. But I get ear fatigue from the Necrophonic, and I'm not.
Yeah, it's all the stupid, scary, frigging sounds they add to it.
Yeah, I end up feeling a bit sick and stuff. It just doesn't do me hearing very well. And I'd rather the hacked radios than the recorded sound. But I do mess around with recorded sound, but I do my own
Hey, this
thing.
has got a nice big hood on it. This will be good for me Plague Doctor in October.
Your wolf hoodie, yeah.
Do you know what it just reminded me of? Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
The guys in the graveyard for the greater good.
You really wouldn't want to see me pole dancing, Kim, honestly.
Yeah, we would.
No.
You wouldn't.
No.
He'd get a swing round and he'd
just be a three-legged giraffe.
That'd be funny though.
Yeah. But yeah, seems to fit nice.
It looks good.
Yeah. When I get used to the hood. It's what?
Is it a zip up front one, is it?
Yeah, I got the zip up one. I like them so you can unzip them. I don't like the pull over ones because if you get hot, you can open this, and because sometimes when you're out on investigations and you're mumping all your stuff around, you get warm.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have one you can just zip open, get a bit of fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not pole dancing for you. I've got no pole. Julie's got to do that. And Sam's going to pole dance with Zippy.
Hell no.
Hell to the no.
Hell to the no. We'll let Zippy pole dance. It'd be good actually, when you're able to get back out, even if you can't walk around too much and stuff, you've got to go back to Roche. What's it called again? Roche.
I can't get there, Julie.
Can't you?
Because it's a 1.5 mile walk from the bus stop.
Oh.
There is absolutely no way I'd make it.
That's a shame. I love that place.
There's no way I'd make it.
Yeah, that's way too far. I didn't think it was that far.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning place as well. If I'd got a car or something, it'd be no problem. But because I have to go on public transport, it is literally, it's just under 2 mile walk down a country road sort of thing.
Oh, God.
It'd finish me off.
Yeah, it would. Definitely. No, I'm sure you'll have plenty of other things to do when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to see what Sam's going to bring us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to get our we have to get our stuff in gear because we were in the middle of a paranormal investigation when we had to just finish up and the the lockdowns happened.
The pandemic
Yeah.
happened, Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we don't consider one night a full investigation. So we want to get back to the island again, where we, after the actual investigation on the beach, we decided we'd check out something, an area, for the next time. And I says, will we bring equipment or that? And I go, no, we'll just put a hat shack in my pocket and the camera. We went up anyway, and we decided we'd do a spurt box. And next thing, Rachel, I give Rachel the camera while I was doing the spurt box. Next thing, the camera starts shaking and stuff like that, and I get that response, fat CUNT, and I turn around and Rachel says, for some reason, I just got the shivers and stuff,
It's
and
quite
I
nice.
yeah.
And then
Turn around.
obviously
All the way. Go on. Yep.
During
Yep,
tour, very good, very nice.
if I do a twirl, I'm going to strangle myself with the headphones.
Yeah. Yeah. So we want to get back there. We just done a spurt box session and that, and Rachel we were both affected, but Rachel was affected quite significantly. But as brave as she's pretty brave. She says we got to go back there. There's something a bit off up there. So looking forward to doing that. I could do it on my own, but the atmosphere up there, the feelings and stuff, I'd rather have somebody with me, to be honest with you. So, I'm not saying there's not negative up there, but something pretty strong, that we want to look into a bit more. And one night's not going to do it. It's going to, Tulsa takes months. We go back and go back and go back. And we done that with Dunry Fort, until the building that we were investigating got burnt down.
Yeah. We actually just had in Sydney, in the state that I'm in, New South Wales, they've had trouble with cases over the last week to 2 weeks. There's been a cluster that broke out, and then all of a sudden it's just blown out, and they've locked down the whole of Sydney and the areas around it for 2 weeks, and all of New South Wales, including where I am, we have to wear masks when we go out in public and that now.
That's been us for the last 18 months.
Yeah.
That has literally been us for the last 18 months.
Yeah, probably second time that I've in my area had to wear masks so far. So we've been fortunate, but they do snap down on it when it happens. I just don't think they caught this one quick enough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do caps on Creator. I don't see any, do they?
Yeah, they've got hats and beanies.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to get me an hat then.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
No, I want a cap. I don't want a beanie. I want a cap.
I'm sure they do, unless it's like another. Because you don't want two bloody different merch companies. You just want one.
Yeah.
That would definitely be good. Let's have a quick look and I'll let you know. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone in the chat have any questions from anything tonight? Yeah. Thank you, Evelyn. We will.
Excuse me.
I'm a far way from Sydney, but we still keep getting bloody cases.
You've lost. Yeah, Sydney's your nearest city, isn't it?
I'm probably about 5 hours drive from Sydney, so I'm like
you're that far away from it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about 5 hours.
That's like the end of the country for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never noticed if they did caps or not. I'll get me a cap.
Okay, so
Rachel's a laugh.
accessories. There's caps.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Rachel and Sam get together, it can be a bit fun, shall we say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Actually, we hold back a lot of our personality when we're on camera because in reality, we're actually worse than that.
What she means is they're blue.
Yeah, we just take the mick out of everything.
You should.
You know?
That'd be good for your blooper reels and things.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if we done a camera, set up a camera in the sitting room while looking at different programs on the television, like Gogglebox, it would be the funniest Gogglebox ever because we're just constantly finding something to make fun at,
Yeah.
you know. Not in a disrespectful way. We just find we just try to find a funny side and everything, sort of thing. Which is
I
cool.
can't find any. What's it on here, Julie?
Oh, I just had it open.
On Creator Spring, all I've got in accessories is a neck
Teespring.
gaiter. Yeah. Now I'm on Creator Spring, which is the same thing.
No, isn't it Teespring? I'm sure it's Teespring, Brett.
Yeah, it is Teespring, but they've renamed themselves to Spring now. But all my designs are in the Creator Spring section.
Okay, so hang on, I'll go back to listings and I'll tell you. Hang on, create. Did you go into accessories?
Yeah, the only thing I'm showing in accessories is drinkware.
Yeah, it should be drinkware and then other.
No, I've got no other.
That's where your bags, your caps, your phone covers, all that are.
Maybe I've got to go into the American version of it.
No, the snapback hats. Hang on, I'll show you. So in here,
there's no hats in mine. There's a cloth face mask, a fanny pack, which I always think is funny, a couple of phone cases, and some bags and a sticker, and a neck gaiter. There's no caps at all.
Oh, because the snapbacks have got Europe and US on it.
Let me just go into the normal Teespring.
Yeah, go into normal Teespring and maybe it's in there. Because there's actually 3 different kinds. Are there any companies in Australia to make your merch? There are companies in Australia, Kim. The only thing is some of them ask you to buy the products in bulk and then you have to kind of sell them yourself, which I really don't have the money to do.
Yeah.
And I think other ones were kind of limited as well. There were reasons why I didn't do the Australian one. And Teespring was better for you guys as well. It was a little bit cheaper than a lot of the other ones as well. So
that's really weird, Julie, because he's showing the hats in the picture, but when I click into it, there's no hats in there.
Are you bringing out a cushion, Brett?
A cushion? No, why?
Hang on.
Why do you want a cushion, Sam?
No, the last time I seen a cushion, it was pretty cringe, actually.
There's a link, Brett. See if you can follow that and it'll take you to your shop, to that kind of link, if it will.
Where have you put the link?
In the admin chat. Kanga, please stay safe. I mean, people shouldn't be bloody leaving Sydney when they've been in lockdown. They should just be staying put so that this thing doesn't spread even more. It's ridiculous.
No, that's the normal one. It's taking me to Julie.
The normal.
And I've got all the cups and gaiters and everything in there, and the bags and stuff, but no caps. Our craps are.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
It's one thing I didn't look into. I kind of would be interested in the creative side of that, but I don't know the first thing about anything like that.
With the merch.
Yeah.
Well, if you needed help, me and Brad are there to give you some help if you need it. Yeah.
I can draw stuff and bits and pieces and that, but when it comes to designing stuff on computers,
It's really easy, Sam, because all you do is submit the image to them, and then it's literally drag and drop onto where you want things.
Yep. Maybe if it was a hat just for you, Brett, you could go through someone else and just kind of order a sample of one that you
Yeah, that's what I might do actually.
Yeah. Screeners had shirts made. They couldn't deliver them to me. Oh, geez, MCAT. Politics, religion, taxes, no. Raining in quick will come good, MCAT. They've done extremely well with COVID. Yeah, they've just got to make sure that they contact trace it really quickly, Kanga, because it'll get out of control very quickly.
See, there's fleece blankets and wall tapestries and yoga mats, but for some reason there's no, in the accessories, there's no caps.
That's so very strange. I wonder if that's got to do with just the UK side of things, because you're in a UK version, aren't you?
Yeah.
But even still, there's that one hat that should be coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not even giving me the option of an hat. Oh, well, I'll have to order it from somewhere else.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hope we am coming to the end of it here, Seago. You know, it's like them trying to make excuses now to push it back even further with this new Delta Indian version that they're calling the Delta version.
Yeah, that's what we have here. And you just have to be in the same room as someone for a really short period of time and you can catch it.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, you have some of these governments, they're setting out the rules and then they break them themselves.
Yeah, they do. So you're right, they do. You've got pictures of the royal family and all the rich at Ascot all clumped together with no face masks, and then they tell parents they can't attend the kids' school sports day, but you can have thousands of rich hobnobs sitting at the Ascot horse racing.
Or when your health minister decides to have a little bit of nookie.
Yeah, there is that. Definitely.
Do I want to know?
Our health minister, the guy who's in charge of keeping all this COVID under control, has just been caught having an affair with one of his aides.
Oh,
so it's splattered all over the news.
Oh yeah, there's a picture caught in Everton. I'd say he was. Oh, he was well in there. I'd say he would give her a bit of the old tongue as well.
Oh my god!
Oh god!
I don't know why you can't see them. I can see them. Specialty products.
Yeah.
fulfilled.
They must be it must be locked out of the UK one.
Yeah, it's got a little lock in the corner and it says fulfilled in the US. So
Yeah.
I think that might be it.
Could be.
Yeah. Oh, is Kim leaving? Good night, Kim. Have a good sleep.
Have a good night, Kim. Brett's going to be leaving soon because it's 2:15.
Jesus.
Okay. Well, we might finish this up now. We're not getting into that lock bed. It's too late in the night for that. All right, we're going to leave you guys. We're going to say thank you so much to everybody that came in tonight and joined us. A big thank you to Brett and Sam for being here.
You're
and
welcome.
for Danny.
Thank you. Thank you very much again.
You're welcome. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see you guys next week. Everybody stay safe, stay well, and till next time, we will see you guys later.
Bye all.